Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Buddycast, starring co-host with Aaron Chase and George Frito.
You can't purposely be
really
bad
good
in
at
it,
this,
so
man.
I do it every time. At least put some gusto into it, dude.
I was really impressed with that.
Thank you. And today's our guest is Mr. Jonathan Tynes. Jonathan, how are you?
I'm hydrated.
That's good. No, so this is Jonathan Tynes coming at you for the Buddycast. Fuck. It was about comedy, right?
How do you how do you usually intro to this?
I
doesn't.
I don't normally do it.
He doesn't.
I don't.
He spent, how old are you, 27? 28?
28.
He spent 28 years of his life delegating tasks to other people and continues to do it, so he hasn't had to introduce.
It was more like, I'm going to get good at this and then ignore the other stuff.
Yeah, basically.
What's he good at? Hang on. No, wait.
No,
what do you
he's
mean?
good at things. He's good at things.
What am I? You lived with me. What am I good at, Jonathan?
Yelling silently at a comedy show.
You're good at...
Jesus Christ.
No. I have to figure out how to word this.
It's a silent insult. That's what just happened. You're so mean.
Intentionally annoying people. You're really good at that.
Thanks, Jonathan.
No, at some points I
You're
was
really good at being a dick.
because I thought you were just being dumb at some point. I was like, why do you just keep going? And then you're like, oh, okay, you're just being an asshole.
I don't think that's something people realize about me. That they think I'm a nicer person than I actually am. Which is interesting. What made you decide to do comedy, Jonathan Tynes?
Unless you answered this on the last podcast you were on.
Did I? I don't remember. I'll answer it again.
Well, you did just make a year, so I mean, we can do this Jonathan Tynes a year in reflection.
Now I'm not high out of my mind, so I can
that.
actually answer questions.
I like that. Jonathan Tynes, a year in reflection.
Yeah. I was very egotistical at the time.
It was.
I still am.
Yeah.
Very egotistical, and then something happened where I was like, wait a second, why am I so egotistical? And I looked at my life and was like, oh, I'm not actually doing anything with it. I'm just playing video games all day and eating. And so I was like, I should do something. And then I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to do comedy for a while. I just batted around the idea. So I was like, why not do it actually? And then I did it. And then I came to 2 shows. George gave me his card, or the card for the buddy system. Do you guys still have those?
Probably.
We ran out.
I don't know. I try to redesign every time I have to reprint, because why not?
He gave me a card, and then now I'm here.
You're also kind of a comedy nerd, though. You know, you enjoy consuming comedy in almost every form you can, whereas, like, I'm opposite. I don't.
I became more of a comedy nerd after I started doing comedy, because then I started picking up. Because once I started to learn how to do certain things, I started picking up on different things people were doing. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like technique. It's like an RPG where you're just getting different techniques, almost like a kung fu school too.
Yeah,
where you're just getting techniques from people.
I think it was Ari Shafir. He was saying when he was a door guy at the store, that was one of the most beneficial things for him, was to just watch good stand-up regularly, because then you get to see the little tricks that everyone uses to kind of make it seem. You know, you get to see behind the curtain, the magic and how they're making it happen. I don't remember who he was saying it was, but this one comic had the same joke that he said every day for 2 weeks, and the same, pause right in the middle to make it seem like it was off the cuff. He would be like, hey, what's that person's name? And then obviously he knows the name, but he would make them say it so that the whole joke seemed like it was off the cuff. And to maintain that, illusion of this is, right now.
I like the little tricks because seeing the little tricks when you know about the tricks, it's like knowing how a magic trick works. You're like, oh, I know that.
Yeah. What's even cooler is when you don't realize that it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait a minute, you fucking asshole.
We went to the store. We went to the comedy store. Me, Stephen Roth, and Nolly, 2 weeks ago, and then she's a comedian. I don't know how to.
Is she a paid regular? Or?
I think so. I forget her name, but
she's a store regular.
Yeah, Christy Leah just killed. And so she came and literally was just like, time to reset. It's resetting time to reset. And it reset the room. I was like, okay, it's an interesting way to go about that, but it worked.
What was your thought explain this. When you first started, what was your thought process when you wrote, when you went on stage?
I'm going to tell stories. I'm going to tell stories about my dumbass life. And then I think they're funny, so it's gonna be funny.
When did that change?
When someone told me it wasn't funny.
Who told you that?
You told me it, but not in a direct
My roommate.
way. You're like, oh, you gotta put jokes in there, man. I'm like, I didn't realize what that meant, but I was like, yeah, you're right, I get it. And then I kept coming, and then I realized what an actual joke was, and then I realized how not funny I was being.
I don't know.
I remember when you just wanted to shock people when you kept talking about...
Because I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
It still is kind of funny, but you have to do it in the right way.
I don't even know if I know what a joke is still, like, yet.
I barely figured out what a tag was like a month ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Good times.
It was like a weird epiphany moment.
A joke for me is like, it's like trying to remember a dream. It's like I know that I have it, I just don't know how to hold on to it or keep it.
I'm going to out myself right now. Anytime someone says something funny in conversation, but that is structured in a certain way, I write it down. So when I'm writing, I'm like, okay, how did they say it to where that was funny? Why was this funny? And then I'll try to replicate it in my own, not what they said, but like try to do the same thing.
Yeah. You Dolomite it.
I didn't watch the movie
Oh,
yet.
you need to... Oh, you'd love it.
I've been playing Death Stranding, and which, if you've seen the trailers, is exactly what it looks like.
Oh, that's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. I hate when trailers look dope as fuck and you're like, this is Maple Story. I don't like it.
Everything in the trailer is exactly what's in the game.
Nice. That's what I'm concerned about the Star Wars game, that the trailer is going to be the game. And I'm like, this is dumb. I don't need a Ratchet and Clank Star Wars game.
Apparently, it's just Dark Souls. Apparently.
Which is not a good game. People love Dark Souls, but it's not a good game.
I'm sorry, Aaron, if you don't know what's going on.
No, I'm letting you guys talk it out. Let you guys get your video game nonsense out. That was something I learned when living with Jonathan. I learned more about video games.
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely.
Because they irritate me.
He tried to grasp them, and then just like, you know what? I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try. I'm just going to get angry.
Because it's annoying. It's annoying and it's not fun for me.
Why is it annoying?
I just lose interest immediately. Like when we were playing GTA and I was driving around, I'm like, can I take me to the fucking thing so I can do the thing and then move on to the next thing?
And then I decided he couldn't handle open worlds.
He can't. No, you need to railroad
much.
him. You got to give him Aladdin. On Sega Genesis.
I have a lag on Sega Genesis, and it's so much fun. So much fun because I know exactly what I'm trying to do. I get past the snake, and there's a jewel, and I grab the jewel, and there you go.
That's that millennial mind, son.
No, he's a millennial.
But he's like different.
Yeah, everyone knows. Everyone gets it.
Millennials, I think most millennials are into video games. I'm just a simplistic person. I just like simple shit. You know this, Jonathan.
But I've been noticing a lot recently because I've been hanging out with people a lot older than me, is that millennials and my generation are very different. Like, you guys have not a weird way of thinking, but a specific way of thought. Like a thought process.
Please elaborate.
Interesting. Like
we use condoms?
No, I don't.
A lot of without realizing
I'll
it.
wait on that.
Without realizing it, a lot of millennials do what they're told, but like, go to college, do this, do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you have to. A lot of things were told specifically to you, to like, this is what you got to do, and then you did that, and now a lot of you are realizing that like, oh, this doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it was a waste of time.
So,
no, him and his little fucking disgusting buddies. How long has it been since you talked to those guys?
which ones?
The comedians you hang out with. Who else to discuss?
That leads perfectly back into comedy. But go ahead.
The ones that were hanging out when I was flipping out because they weren't using condoms and fucking random girls.
The hood rats you used to hang around. Yeah, I remember
Goddamn
those.
Degenerates.
I remember going, he needs to stop hanging around with them, otherwise he's not going to be funny.
It's been a while. One of them came to watch me at the Ice House.
Oh, that's cool.
That's because I bought his ticket. But
I hope he let you fuck too. Jesus, that's a date.
And I think we also bought his drinks. Anyway, I wanted to be at the Ice House. Yeah, I don't talk. It's not because I don't want to. It's just because I don't have the. Because if I talk to them, then I'm gonna have to hang out with them, which sounds sucky, but I don't have the time to do that.
No, that makes sense. That's a very healthy decision.
If I had a car, it'd be a lot easier because then I just drive around. But my life is very much go to work, go home, write what I thought about at work, then go to a show. Or
Your life,
go to Mike.
your comedy career is going to be very interesting once you do get a car.
What is that?
Because right now your decisions are already made for you.
Yeah.
You already have a schedule and things like that. But once you have the freedom and the ability to be impulsive like the comic you are, I'm going to be very interested as to what you pick and choose to do.
I've just now been hitting like 2 shows, 2 mics a night just because I'm starting to feel less bad about asking her to take me.
As long as you appreciate it.
Yeah. But I don't know. The only things I really want to do right now is just hit a show and then go home and play a video game and go to sleep.
Simple living. You were going to say it goes back to comedy, what I was about.
Oh, just that I don't have the time to hang out with my friends. Or with my friends as much as I'd want to. And it sucks because, like I said, if I had talked to them, then I'm like, I'm going to have to hang out with you. And I just...
It's exhausting for me because I'm, like, autistic. It's hard for me to talk to people that I don't have anything in common with. Like, genuinely different. Like, I don't know where to... I don't like small talk. I'm not going to do that. So it's like, so what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I go to work. And I was like, cool, where do you work? At this warehouse. What do you do when you're done with work? I go home. It's like,
that's it?
You don't have, like, a passion or... something you want to get better at? You don't even like, dude, tell me you're knitting. I don't give a fuck. But
that's
like,
what pisses me off about my friends the most is that not a lot of them do extracurriculars.
Did your buddy ever try it?
No, I'm still trying to fucking get him to.
Give up on him. He's not going to do it.
If they don't want to do it on their own, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
I don't want to give up on him because I know that if he does it, like at least for like a week, because he's like a George where he like just.
Don't give them that compliment.
It's
an insult.
He's such a natural. He's so quick and funny that it's like, why don't you do this? And it bothers me.
Yep.
Because it's I don't like when people waste their potential.
You sound like me.
I guess in a weird way.
But everyone has so much potential. Everyone. Even dumb people, they have potential somewhere.
I've never been good at anything in my life, and now that I'm getting better at comedy, when I see people who can already be good at comedy, I'm like, why the fuck aren't you doing this? It could be so easy for you.
Yeah. It just gets them to the race quicker. But at some point, it's that old fucking motto of hard work's going to beat talent every time. Hard work is work. You have to learn, and it is an action. You don't have to do anything to be talented. You don't have to earn that. Mm-hmm. You don't have to earn your leg up on the competition, your gift. But at a certain point, someone like you who's writing and hitting mics even without a car is going to outshine someone like me who just doesn't do anything. Who's just like, I'll coast. Fuck it.
Do you guys think having it is a thing? Because I don't think it is.
No. Having it?
No. An it factor?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I think it's a thing, but it's like a Eddie Murphy, Robin Williams,
Sam Kinison.
Like, it's such a small amount of people that I shouldn't even be taken into consideration.
And when I see my friend, I feel like he has it, but he's just not using it.
Then he's not. He doesn't have it.
I think it is talent. So when someone has it, it's a gift that the leg up on the competition that they already have, and they carry that into their work. So LeBron James has it. He is an athlete. He is a super athlete that's got superb coordination, but so does everybody else on that court. Everyone else also has it. So the playing field's kind of level. And so to become a LeBron James, you just have to have extra it. So I think everyone has it. Some people have more, but they don't have that. You can always work harder.
All right,
like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't have it. He grinded that shit out, and then became the greatest ever.
When you hear stories about Michael Jordan, it's like, oh, you're just crazy now. You're out of your fucking mind.
Why was he doing
He's obsessed with winning. Like, legit obsessed with winning.
You have to be, though. To be a competitive athlete, you have to, cry when you lose.
Yeah. When losing has to feel worse than winning feels good.
Yeah, you have to not want that to ever happen again.
Yeah.
Like getting knocked the fuck out.
When you say it, do you include that with comedic timing?
Yeah.
Because do you think that's something you can grind out and learn? Because there's people...
Definitely.
Okay.
I think okay, I think there is a comedic timing is something you can learn, but comedic ability is kind of something that you have to be nurtured into. Because there's some people that don't have the wiring in their brains to be comedic. There's outliers, there's biological walls that may be up for someone, but I think to understand that there is a setup, a pause, then a punchline. You can teach that. You can teach one-liners, but you can't have someone be funny all the time.
I know that you guys mentioned Tony Ross a lot on this podcast, but this is more of a. I'm not trying to shit on him, but I've noticed recently that Tony has been timing his jokes better. Like I'm not gonna say the specific jokes, but the basketball player one, I really like that one, and the George Washington one he's been saying.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Tony Ross is funny.
Tony's a very funny person, but there is a perfect storm of ability and showmanship and craftsmanship that it takes to really excel at comedy. You can be a funny person, you can be a comedian, but I think if you want this to be your career, your quote-unquote it is a combination of being funny, stage presence, business hustle, and confidence. So,
I agree.
if you're lacking in any of those, you're not going to make it.
Well,
but you can learn most of that, is what I'm trying to say.
And do you guys think the quote-unquote line is real? Because
The line?
Do you think the mic is real? Can you keep talking into it, please? Thank you.
Let me get up on this thing. On Joey Diaz's podcast, I forget who she was, but she said she took off because she was like pretty major. She was going on tour with Kevin Hart, and then she said she stopped doing comedy because she got married, and then she got divorced. And when she got back into comedy, she had to start all the way over again.
God.
And she had to
That's a nightmare.
because she's like, I stepped out of line and someone took my spot.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Do I think that's a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 100% that's a thing.
I don't think it's a line, but that's why we have classes, you know? Like, I wouldn't necessarily consider you're in my class of comedy, not in a skill level, but there's a different group of people that I came up with than you. So it's like we're in the same school, but we're not in the same class.
Speaking of that, you, Carlos, and Steven Roth, that's what, how did that develop, that camaraderie?
How did you guys become friends?
Yeah.
What a weird question.
Because we did through poker and podcasting mostly, and running the shows.
If it started with a P, poker, pot, and podcasting.
Yeah.
With Steven was just nice to me a lot, and I was like, I like that. I'm gonna keep hanging out with you.
Don't lie, you just didn't want him to shoot you when he shot up the school.
It looks like he has good aim.
Yeah.
He does in his glasses.
And then Carlos is gonna sound mean, but Carlos is an easy target to make fun of, and I like being a bully to people sometimes
Because it keeps happening to you.
Carlos knows how to roll with the punches. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like bullying people who know how to get bullied.
Yeah. He'll take a couple hits and then he'll slap you right back.
Yeah,
so
it's fun.
great.
That's why I like Carlos. Because
that's what I was going to say about your friends when I said earlier that if you don't stop hanging around those friends, you're not going to get funnier, is because your friends are a bunch of low-hanging fruit, and you need people that are funnier than you to get funnier. So it's like having people like Carlos around, even if it's not as frequent, he'll hit you back for sure if you're bullying him, and it's like that's important to have people as funny or funnier than you. That's why I keep Aaron, Will around.
What is that
fine.
fucking laughter, Jonathan?
Iron sharpens iron. No, we agree that I'm funnier, but I gotta keep him around.
No, I think George is just a psychopath.
I just think confidence is hilarious. Like when someone's their confidence in themselves is absolute, it's like it's funny, but I also respect it a lot because I want to do that, but not look like an asshole. Like George just did that, but didn't look like an asshole.
No, he looked like an asshole.
No, I didn't think so.
Okay, because it's not directed at you.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's directed at you, no, I think I agree with you. I think I was saying this. I was lecturing and being an asshole when we were living together. Not that you need to drop your friends or anything, but I think
I think you should.
I talk to the ones I want to talk
you don't
to.
have to.
My prediction is that those people will fall off eventually, if they have not already at this point.
That's also not anything to do with their friend. That's just people.
Yeah, it's life.
Yeah,
that's
it's not.
life.
It's not any your choice of friends or our choice of friends. Life is hard.
Yeah.
Doing comedy, having a passion, is hard.
I'm just now starting to accept that people are just going to deviate and do different shit, and their lives are going to go in different ways. I was talking to the friend I brought to the ice house, and I was like, I was having him catch me up on what was going on, and I was like, "What the Jesus Christ?
What has everyone been doing?
Drug shit. It's
Dumb shit.
not dumb shit, but everyone's going through their life, and everyone's going a different way and developing a different personality. And it's like, oh, this is weird.
It's how life works, man. It's weird.
Especially after graduating, because it's like you thought those people were whole people when you left, and you're like, oh, you're still learning.
Yeah,
That's weird.
I was because I've been hanging out with so many older people that I hang out with people my age. I'm like, oh, I'm not there anymore. Like, I'm not at that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a maturity level or state of mind, but I'm not there anymore.
Also, some people get stuck too. Like they're still there. That's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's weird to see. It's because I was totally the guy who got left behind after a while, and then I got feels like I shot ahead.
Focus.
Yeah, I guess.
Living with you was interesting in seeing that.
What?
That
You go through puberty, I assume.
that you just, I feel like you just seeing you change was interesting.
I changed. Did I change a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
In a maturing way. Like, all right, you remember when we were talking about? I made a whole thing, like a whole web diagram about right and wrong and people deserving. I don't know how much you've changed your thought on that, but do you remember that? What was the argument? We were arguing for like a weekend about that.
It was the argument was if there's an action can be good or bad, which I've kind of married the two arguments where I do think an action can be either good or bad or neutral, but a bad action can have good consequences.
Yeah. That's what is the Bible quote? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just remember you were really staunch in it was like, no, it is good or it is bad. There is nothing else. I don't know why you had to become like South African in that moment. I am the captain now, and the captain is good. But I just remember, and then over time, without arguing about it anymore, there was just this change. You didn't even seem as vengeful anymore. You used to seem really vengeful.
I used to be real angry.
Yeah, really angry.
Yeah, still am. About different things now, but can I try?
It's just drugs.
I think a passion is an outlet.
Yeah.
Like, I think as humans, we've evolved to create and innovate, and there's something rewarding about doing so, about making like having an idea in your head and bringing it out to the world. There's something fulfilling about that cycle that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to participate in, if that makes any sense.
Also, yelling on stage helps a lot.
Yeah. Yes and no. Being loud doesn't necessarily exude confidence, and I don't think a lot of people grasp that. Like, people misinterpret projecting your voice with being loud. Projecting your personality across the room with being loud. Like, I think it is an energy thing. It is a body gesturing. It's like barking outside. If you're quiet and reserved, no one's going to fucking listen to you. You have to stand up straight, look them in the eye, and be like, hey, man, I am talking to you. So, I don't know. Confidence, stage manners, the craft is, what?
Oh, I was going to ask Jonathan a thing. But
Yeah.
What's the most important thing you think you've learned the past year? Like, if you were to go back in time and talk to yourself that first day and say, this is the thing you should think about. This is the most important thing you should think about right now. What would it be?
Learning how to curve my ego, because that is. I talk about it a lot, but it really is sort of a problem for me, because I'll feel really confident in myself, and then something won't work, and then I'm like, fuck, I gotta like go back to square one, and when you guys were at the Ice House, and I was messaging you guys about the comics that are on stage while it was going on, and then I realized, I was like, oh my god, I sound like an asshole right now.
No, you're talking to comics. If you were on the show, we would have been having that conversation outside. Like, that was just you being you.
But
it's not like it was bad. It's not like we disagreed. You weren't just needlessly roasting people. It's like, no, this person needs to work on their stage presence. Yeah, I agree. Cut their time and give me 2 extra minutes.
But I didn't look at it as like, oh, we're all doing the same thing at the same level. So I feel like I shouldn't. If I was headlining somewhere or doing like a lot of book shows a week and like getting paid, then I might feel I deserve to talk shit on the lesser folk, but because I'm at the
The lesser folk.
because I'm at the same level as them, so I'm like, why am I talking shit right
You're
now?
not at the same level as those ladies.
No, but I could be at the ice house. I'm not anywhere farther than them in terms of career-wise.
You will be, and you know you will be. There's no way those ladies. You remember the what's
No, I'm just gonna say you're also just talking to your friends. Like there's a different line when you and your friends have a different rapport. Like you're allowed to talk shit to your friends, but you're not that comic who talks shit about lower comics to other comics outside of a mic. Like those people do exist. You're afraid of being that person, and you're not that person. So it's like it's fine. You weren't barking it out. You weren't just looking at us going, "Oh my god!" You kept it between us. It was a conversation between friends. So that's an outlier of a conversation.
Also, growing up is don't try not to grow up as fast because I'm trying to rush to those conclusions that you guys made, and it takes age and time too. That's what I'm trying to realize. I'm starting to realize that to get to where I want to be, I have to get older, which kind of sucks.
irony?
Yeah. Or, I mean, the only other option to speed it up is to put your ego and pride aside and fully assimilate the information that older people tell you. But
I'm trying.
that's hard.
Impossible.
That's hard to do before the age of 25. So
Jesus, yeah.
Anytime someone gives me advice, I'll pick apart what I want to pick apart, and then I'll just.
that's how
one
you
ear
should
out
go
the
through
other.
life. I think that's the best way to go through life. I picked that up from Bruce Lee, where you just go through all the martial arts, pick the one that works for you, and do it the best you can. So yeah, you're on the right track. That's fine. I agree. You shouldn't be talking about shit about comics because you're 371 days in. So
Yeah, it's
you've also had a very rough crash course in comedy, though. You kind of just hit the ground running and full steam ahead, kind of thing. Whereas most people, it's kind of half in, half out. I'll do this. I'll go to work, and you kind of treat this like a job.
I do feel like I have a leg up on some people though because I do that because I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this every single day and try to take as few breaks as possible. Which I'm also finding breaks are important.
Yeah,
I think breaks, taking a day off or two is important so you don't get burnt out.
Yeah. That was another good reason why living together was good with Jonathan, was that it was constantly like, I can't let this little motherfucker get better than me. I can't let that happen. That was a really good thing about living together.
I've never thought about that.
What do you mean?
I'm just so far ahead. It's not gonna fucking
Fucking douchebag.
yeah. What are you gonna do? Get into the Lambo and fucking speed past me? Good luck, dude. I'm in a helicopter.
But you weren't that, like, he would be writing all the time. I would see him constantly working and figuring stuff
I would
out.
think he'd be better by now. What happened?
Yeah, right.
What did that do?
He stopped living with me. No, but that was fuck. I was gonna say something.
No, I remember
else.
you telling me. Because I've always had a lot of respect for Jonathan. Just waiting outside for his turn with no one he knew outside of a bar in a
In the
city.
rain.
Yeah, like, cool. That's a grind. I respect that from day one. And when he told me, like, you'd go home and you'd have his headphones and he's writing, it's like, yeah, no, I expect that behavior from someone who's willing to wait outside of Worthington's for their stage time. So it's like, cool, good for you.
It's
You
fun.
need it.
People talk about it in that way, but I don't really see it that way. It's just like, oh, I kind of have to just do this.
You have no other options. You didn't
Yeah,
go
I
to
did.
college.
I don't have other options.
Well, it's good.
This
It's
is
smart.
it. This is it.
Oh yeah, my favorite question. Who in the IE is the most underrated, needs the most shine, is really good, but people don't realize it?
George Frito, Stephen Roth, Aaron Chase.
I appreciate that, but I don't know if I need the shine. I don't know if I need the recognition. I don't know if that's why I'm doing this.
You should get the recognition though.
Why do you think he doesn't?
Why do you think he does it?
Why do you think he does not get the recognition that he should be getting?
Because he helps run the shows, and people who run shit don't get acknowledged as much, which is unfortunate. Like the guy who invented jars. You don't think about him, but he's fucking important.
Reginald Oswald. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
What if all of us background people know of each other? Like,
Like
are
Tesla.
you talking about Wozniak?
Nikola Tesla has only been getting acknowledged recently,
Mm.
and he
You had to do the Rogan podcast.
is arguably more important than Thomas Edison.
Yeah. And yeah, I say that a lot. Like most people don't realize, and George likes it this way. Most people don't realize what George does. George sits in the shadows with little buttons and knobs in his phone, and he creates things and he throws it out there. And then those people say, "Hey, what's this?" And then they come to me and they complain about it. And that's the order of our lives at this point.
Well, yeah, let's make this about us. I do what I do because I can, because it has to be done, and because no one else will. Our shows need to be seen. They need to have an online presence. They need to be unique and different, and no one else is willing to do that for us. You know, no one else is willing to do that for this scene right now, and so it's like I don't have a choice. I can't just post it for recognition because I'm not going to get it. So when I post, when I do things, I do it for me. So when I'm running sound, I'm learning how to listen to people. I'm picking up a different skill. When I'm making a new flyer, I'm experimenting with layouts. So everything I do for me, which is why I say I don't really need the recognition because I'm still getting something out of it. What I want recognition for is my comedy, is the product I'm creating, and slowly I'm getting that.
That's what I'm saying. That you should be getting recognized for your comedy, because I feel like not a lot of people are paying attention to you just because you are the buddy system. So it's like, you don't have to pay attention to George. He just runs shows.
Yeah, that's fine. And then when I go to a show, I show up with fucking flamethrower and I burn it down. Like, if you don't know me, you will.
Yeah,
it's fine. Like, I don't need it or want it. Because then they talk to me. People started messaging me, and I'm not okay with it.
They started messaging you now?
Yeah. They're like, hey, man, I hear you're the guy to talk to about getting an improv show. And I go, nope.
Finally.
Nope. Oh, no, I shut those guys down hard. I was like, you should do what we did and email them. Good luck. Bye.
Yeah. See, George is super secure, though, or at least he presents himself as such.
In my passions, I am. But I'm old. I'm older than everybody. Like, everyone seems to just kind of skim past that. It's like I've had the opportunity to be insecure, and I've gone past the point where it's like, this is what I enjoy. This is what I love, and I know I'm going to be at this for like 35 years. So what people say about me and the things that we do together as the buddy system doesn't affect me because I'm still getting better. The moment I'm not getting better, cool. Then we have a problem. But
that's starting to dawn on me a lot recently. Like, I'm gonna be doing this for a while. Like, I'm gonna be doing for the foreseeable future. I'm gonna be doing this. So
yeah.
Well, if we just keep working at it, we'll get. Let's see. What do you think? Where do you think you're gonna be in 5 years?
We should do one of these every year. A Jonathan Tynes follow. Because how often do you get to run into someone who just started comedy and then has most of it on wax somewhere? Like,
not often.
We got him on the podcast early, and we know him. So I think we should do a follow up every year. So you're on once a year.
The annual. What was your question?
5 years. Where do you think you'll be?
5 years. I'll at least like all my material. Like I'll like, okay, I like have complete confidence in it. Hopefully I'll be getting paid more than just like supporting myself a little bit off of it. Not even like fully living off comedy, but like just have it be like a supplement. Like, it's almost like a second job. Like, I have a primary income and then the supplementary. And then I might be living in another city. I think I might be, like, besides Riverside, either New York or Los Angeles.
Yeah, speaking of that, are you actually... What are you...
I'm not going with Holland, but at some point I do want to move and then experience that scene and then just go through that.
And then go back to California going, oh, that was the best spot anyway. I don't know why I left. I wasted 2 years of my life.
Yeah, George is adamant that we're in the right place and we should not leave.
Yeah. I mean, I am also adamant that there's no location that you need to be at to do this anymore. Because of the internet, because of self-promotion. Like, look at the buddy system. Like, you don't have to be in Riverside to see us. And people outside of Riverside see us all the time now. So, location's not... It's what you do with it. It's what you do with your stage time. It's what you do with where you're at. There are modes and methods that are easier and more available in different areas, but you have the tools anywhere you are. Like, that's photographer mentality. Your best camera is the one that you have on you, because it's not the camera, it's not the location, it's you.
I agree, but I just want to like have a change of location.
For funsies?
Yeah, just for fun. Just like, okay.
This
now-
is local for you, though, right?
Yeah.
You're from here. I always forget that, too. It's like, I moved here, so I came here, and I've done that, so... Yeah, no, I get that. But then, in 10 years, you'll just be like, fucking George was right. I should... Oh, God damn it. I should have
just struggle somewhere else.
That's how it works.
But it is good networking. I mean, it is important to meet other people and go out there.
Yeah, man, you've been doing your own thing. What's been I haven't seen you. What do you do now? What's your life like?
I'm just hitting other shows besides the IE shows just so I can, like... Because I feel like I'm getting too comfortable at the places we're at.
It's fair. What is it like being in other shows?
It's weird. It's uncomfortable.
Why?
Because I don't know anyone. Or I should rephrase that. Some people we know will go to the same mics, but it won't be familiar just because they're still different people. And it's interesting playing to, just different... you've been to Shamrocks. You guys been to
Long
Shamrocks,
time
right?
ago.
You haven't?
Nope.
It's... Because when people keep telling me about it, it's like, oh, this room gets packed like every single night. And you go in, and it's like, oh, you weren't kidding. This is like...
A lot of people go
A
there.
lot of people.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, like... When I'm not nervous for a show, it bothers me. Because I'm like, oh, the passion has fizzled out. So when I get nervous, I'm like, oh, I'm still excited to do this. Cool.
I'm guessing you get nervous there?
Shamrocks? I've only been there once, but the time I did go, it was nerve-wracking.
How did you do?
I did well. Because I was like the third person up, and I did pretty well. Which I'm also waiting for the next bomb. That next bomb. The next soul-crushing, where you're just like, I don't want that to happen again.
What's your writing process like now?
I don't know. I'll think of stuff at work, and then when I get home, I'll write it down. And then if I have a day off, I'll write a little bit. But I've been doing this thing where I've been working. I'll think of a punchline first, and then I'm like, okay, I got to figure out a thing around this, and then do it that way.
Figuring out the setup after you made the punchline?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which is fun. It's like making a mystery. Because I don't know where this is going to go, but it's going somewhere. Like the something I've been doing recently. The guns thing. I thought about the guy strangling kids just randomly, and I was like, okay, what do I do around this? And then it just not works, but it's getting there, which is fun.
What do you get out of comedy?
What do I get out of it?
Yeah. What void in your heart does comedy fill? Like,
I said it earlier. I've never been good at anything, and like,
okay, so why do you get out of comedy then?
I'm getting better at comedy, so it's satisfying because I'm like, oh, everyone has always been better at me than everything else, and with those things, I either didn't want to work at it, or I didn't know how to work at it. But with comedy, there's like almost like not a roadmap, but like there's levels to
There's
this.
tiers, where you stand almost at all times. Yeah.
What's up?
Did you figure that out after your first set? When did all of this click?
Pretty early, like maybe the third or fourth show, because I noticed that people at the open mics were better than me. And then I asked, like, they would come up to me and be like, hey, man, you got to do this, this, and that, blah, 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 blah. You got to do this, too. You got to say it this way. Da, da, da. It's like...
Me?
It's like, oh, there's things you can remember to do.
We've never had that conversation. Are you shocked?
Wait, what?
Of what I should and shouldn't do and notes and stuff. We don't have that conversation.
It's I like getting notes because when I think I'll have a good set, someone will be like, hey, you should say this. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm not as good as I think I am, which is nice.
Comedy's very humbling. Comedy and jiu-jitsu is very humbling. There's a line of undeniability that you have to cross if you want to be good.
And battle rap.
Yeah, but jiu-jitsu is like, I can wrestle. I've wrestled before.
You can for 3 minutes, and then someone's going to strangle you 3.5 in.
Or someone busts your lip in a park.
Or that.
I busted Jonathan's lip at a park.
Yeah. Let's roll for 10 minutes. Like your strength confidence will dwindle quickly.
Oh yeah.
You're just like, oh, I have to do this properly.
I thought I had good body control, but then I realized that was not at all what was happening.
And it's weird how, like, even with jujitsu, it's like it's leverage and it's physics, and with comedy, it's kind of the same way. It's like an emotional physics. The way you got to hypnotize a crowd, the way you have to. You know what I was watching? I was watching what is that Steve Harvey game show, Family Feud? He hosts that now. That's where I realized, like, shows are just hypnotism. Like, it is just a timing thing, because he was making fun of these two ladies for like 8 minutes, because they were like, I think the topic was name another word for mother, and there were 4 options, and mom and mommy was one, and then mum was another, and one of the two ladies kept saying nana and nana and Nina, and like just the same word in different inflections. So he was just roasting them, and they had no idea. But they had no idea because Steve kept up this rhythm, this church rhythm of like, "Can I get up?" And then they would shout, and then just keep up this black church rhythm, and they were participating. But meanwhile, he was shitting on them the whole time. But they were just so stuck and hypnotized in this rhythm that it's like. He was just playing a game with them at that point. It's embarrassing for them.
Also, the reason I stayed in comedy is because I just like comedians as people. Because like Steve Harvey is still a comedian where he'll just roast the shit out of anyone just because they're being dumb.
I think Steve Harvey has some fucking closeted demons.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think he has the most.
You saw him on the Def Jam celebration, like the 25-year celebration.
Not the whole thing, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, you fucking Uncle Tom, what are you doing?
He's gonna have some Cosby shit coming.
Oh yeah. He's gonna play it safe.
Yeah. But this isn't new. I've always thought that about Steve Harvey since You Got Served.
Why?
Because his cameo in You Got Served is so random and his character is so out of place that I know that he was in production going, no. Mr. Steve Harvey's going to do this. Because in the end, there's no resolution to the plot. It's just, I took care of it. You know, like he's trying to paint himself as this clean, know-it-all, I can handle anything thing. And he's been doing it for almost a decade, if not more. And so that just tells me you got some dark shit you're trying to bury.
Does he still go on stage?
Stand up?
Yeah.
I'm sure he does. I doubt he works out material, but yeah, I'm sure he still does.
I like that Leno still does material every Sunday at the Magic House, or whatever it's called.
Comedy Magic Club? No.
Something like that.
What am I talking about? I don't know. I like that podcasts and social media have connected us with comedians that are far beyond our classes and tiers, and they still bomb.
Yeah.
Like, it's good to know that the process doesn't stop, because that's what I'm obsessed with, is the process.
I saw Eddie Pepitone bomb, and I was like, nice. Oh, this is nice. Because it could still happen at that level.
It's weird that I am 1 degree of separation from a lot of the comedians and celebrities I look up to.
Because of Will?
Just because of the scene we're in. Like, Jimmy Shin has Bill Burr popping into his show, and I was just hanging out with Brian Matthews, who hosts that show, kind of thing. Like, you know, the time, this is my favorite comedy moment, is the time I was doing an open mic in the Yoo-Hoo room, and next door was Kevin Hart in the main room. And I popped my head in and rode that energy wave for like 2 weeks.
That's tight.
Yeah, it's crazy to watch a legit headliner fill up a room that has 250 people and make it feel like an arena. It's like, oh, I should quit. I don't know if I can do that.
How often do you guys listen to comedy or watch comedy?
Every day.
It's rarely.
I'm starting to. I used to be here, but now I'm trying to go over here because I noticed it influences the way I write depending on who it is.
Yeah, it definitely can. I catch myself writing in someone else's voice. But I'm usually pretty good about realizing, like, oh, no, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Also because I don't have time. Like, I watch so much bad comedy. It's equivalent to watching good comedy. I just know what exactly not to do.
Yeah. At our open mics?
In general. That's just I'm 7 years in. Like, all I'm saying is shit comedy. Occasionally, one of my friends will crush it, but most of us suck still.
Yeah.
Like, that's why when people flex on your fucking social media, I'm like, dude, You still have a day job. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
What are you flexing for? The audition that you got that you might get a job for?
Yeah.
You're flexing because you suddenly got an agent? Cool. Someone's taking some of your money that you could have gotten on your own. What? Okay.
Yeah, the idea of making money right now is exciting, and it's good to get gas money or whatever. But to think that any of us are at a place where we can demand money is.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up earlier. The fact that like people are proud, they're like, yeah, I'm a paid comic. It's like, did you deserve that though? You know, or when they're like, I pay all my comics. Okay, but do they deserve to be paid? Are you helping them or hindering them by giving them money?
Right.
You know, if I book someone shitty but I pay them, then I'm reinforcing the idea that the content they're putting out is worth money, and I'm lying to them. Like, if I gave you money, good chance I just thought you had a really good set and what you did was worth money. You know, I'm not going to falsely blow smoke up your ass. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help the comedy community. It doesn't help comedy. Then it doesn't help venues. Venues talk to each other too. They're like, oh yeah, this guy had a comedy show, but those comics fucking suck. Don't work with them. Why would you do that? Then what happens is you end up getting some bumfuck bar in the corner of some town that doesn't have any traffic that day anyway, so you have a show. And now you're a real producer. Like, the entry level into comedy is so low that it's almost disrespectful to pay people who aren't ready for it. But money, you know, so many people are so focused on like, you gotta get paid, bro.
Yeah, I don't like that. The business aspect is important, but the money aspect, I feel like a lot of people look at too much. Where it's like, oh, how much you getting paid? You got paid for that? It's like, do you like telling jokes at all?
Yeah.
Is money is all you're in it for?
It's short-sighted. I understand the hustle, but it's like, if you can get good at comedy, if you can be a good stand-up comedian, the money will come. The followers will come.
You know, the hustle I'm working on that's outside of the craft of comedy is finding an audience. That's something that I've been since doing the street stand-up thing. That's something that has really stuck out to me. Finding people that relate and enjoy what I do specifically is my new hustle now.
I think what I'm trying to work on for my comedy now is establishing a persona, like getting the audience to know who I am in that first joke, preferably in that first minute. Like having a joke that kind of encompasses all of my ideas, or having a minute and a half chunk that it's like, all right, this is George Frito. The rest is going to go pretty smooth.
Do you have a specific joke like that?
Not necessarily. I was talking about this over the weekend with Brian Matthews, actually, that like, if you can establish a persona early, if you can have a joke that does, then really the rest of your set's going to be cake, because 40% of the joke's set up for you already.
Is it a persona or is it just you?
It's me. So it would be me trying to communicate my persona, which is me, to the audience. So I'm trying to project my persona across the void of audience through words. So both, I guess, to answer your question.
That was you did some twists and turns in
Kind
there,
of.
but I think I got it.
It's like
I'm trying to
here
be
I
me.
am in like 10 words.
Yeah,
Okay.
as succinct and efficient as possible. One, so I can get more jokes out, but two, because then it's just a good show. So I've been really, really, really trying to hone in on my openers, sharpen those up, and inject more of me into it. Whether it be my delivery, or because I was telling you about like how certain jokes now, like I'm at the point where I have to adjust where my body is now, because now I'm not engaging how I should be, and it comes off different. So that's what I'm focusing on, is establishing a persona and trying to, I guess, soften the edge that I come off with, because it comes off in my set as I rewatch. It comes off that I'm just kind of an impatient person. I don't have the patience for anyone else's bullshit or mine, because I'll speed through things. The way I punctuate my jokes, almost, it seems, I don't know how to describe it because I'm still working on it, but it seems rushed. And so I'm working on not necessarily slowing down, but being more personable. It's weird. I don't know. You think you have it figured out, and then the next day you bomb, and you're like, oh,
Or you listen to your own set and you're like, what the fuck was I saying? Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know how certain comics don't record themselves, their sets. Like, how do you know what's working?
I think a lot of people go off in memory, which is
That's some fucking stupid decision.
unreliable.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're like, I had a good set. I did all right. And then I listen back to it. I'm like, oh, this was terrible.
Yeah.
This was awful.
I don't listen to all of them.
Yeah, I don't either.
A lot of times what I'll do in lieu of listening is just make notes as soon as I get off stage. Because I know the feeling. It's fresh. It's 5 minutes. You can't recall the last 5 minutes of your life. And then I'll write down notes. But even then, I'll occasionally be like, what did I mean by timing was off? And that's something you have to go back and listen to. It's like, oh, that's what I meant. So,
John,
ebbs and flows.
I know you were talking about ego. What is specifically in comedy, what is it that you're working on? What's the thing?
What I'm working on? Being memorable, because I notice a lot of people don't remember me off stage. That and just thinking of that. Fuck. I think just being memorable is the one I'm trying to work on the most. Just because, remembering, because all my favorite comedians, they have jokes that are I can just recall off the top of my head, and I've been focusing so much on like writing or trying to write a good joke that I haven't been making them memorable or like stand out in any way.
How do you make something memorable? What makes something memorable?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think it's I don't know.
I think it's being yourself.
Yeah.
It's part of finding your voice on stage, because you want to, on one hand, you have to accept the fact that at this point everything in comedy's been done. And you are trying to inject your personal flavor on it. So the only way to be memorable is to do something that is truly unique to yourself. And that's hard to do if you don't know yourself.
Which is funny, because I'm trying to, the bit about I'm writing knowing yourself, I'm trying to write that to get to know myself more. It's almost like I'm trying to cheat in a way. Where it's like, maybe if I write about myself, I'll know more.
What did you learn about yourself so far?
And I'm an angry person. I have a hard time paying attention to things. I don't know if that's a disorder or just me being from my generation.
Paying attention like conversation and people, or paying attention to like tasks?
Anything. Like I'm trying to read books more just so I can have something to pay attention to, but I'll find myself like, I'll just go on Kotaku and look up the gaming news right now or something else. Or I have a hard time listening to people, I guess, because my attention will just waver. Like if you don't start out with something immediately interesting to me, I've noticed. I know it sucks. It sounds terrible.
It is terrible.
But like, if you don't start off with like, blah, interesting thing here, I'm like, I'll try to follow you, but I have a hard time paying attention to people.
You ego maniacal fuck.
I know.
A lot of people aren't memorable.
I'm trying to get better at talking, because I've noticed recently I don't know how to talk at all.
What? Yeah.
I'll start a conversation with someone and not know how to continue it.
These are good for that. Long form conversations. And I don't think that's a you thing. It's everyone. No one really has long conversations anymore with each other.
I do.
You have it with yourself, you fucking crazy person.
Yeah, you'll start a conversation and you'll just talk.
Yeah. Because the other person won't fucking talk.
But I appreciate
so people. You don't shut the fuck up.
I know. Fuck you. There have been. I've been picking up on that, and so I'll hang back, and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna be quiet, and then it just gets quiet. So then I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna keep talking.
I appreciate people who do that, because I don't have to. I can start a conversation and I'll know you'll carry it.
Yeah.
Not you specifically, but you and like Holland.
Yeah, Holland will talk for days.
When people continue to talk, though, that tells me that they're not listening. Because I think you need time to swallow what everyone else is saying. You have to ingest it, put it through your own filters, and get what they're going. So if they're immediately responding, it's either a good conversation or they're not listening, and chances are they're not listening.
I think that... Oh, sorry, go. You were going to say something? You have your fingers crossed, so I'm going to let you talk.
Okay. I've noticed that the people that I get annoyed at or I don't talk to, I see a lot of myself in them. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just going to talk to you sometimes and see... What about myself I don't like?
That's
who?
fair. I actively will pick people sometimes and be like, what do I hate about them? Because it's probably me.
This is going to be terrible. But for like a split second in time, I didn't like Jay Calderon.
Ooh.
For like a split...
Did you fucking hear that, Jay?
Yeah.
Jesus,
Shots
dude.
fired, motherfucker.
For a split second, I was like, I don't like you anymore. But then I was like, oh, I don't like you because I also do this.
What?
So
you don't need to tell me that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, sometimes I'll talk to people who I don't like just so I can figure out. Like, I've noticed that I'll wait until someone's done talking or saying something so I could, because I already have what I'm going to plan in my head, and then I'll just, as soon as their mouth is shut, I'll start talking. So I'll wait for people to stop talking so I can start talking.
Which is polite, so that's not a problem.
I'm not.
But you're not listening in the
I'm
way
not
you're
listening to what they're saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, I know I'm a talker, but I actually do give a shit about what people are saying. I'm listening. I just talk a lot.
People are weird, though. People, like, the fact that you're aware that your disdain for other people is a projection, primarily, is something a lot of people don't realize. So they're like, dude, I fucking hate you. And then they're saying why they hate you, and you're like, dude, you do the same thing. I hate you more. Like, what are you talking about, you crazy person? So that's a good step, but that's part of growing up, and that's why some people don't succeed in life. Somebody's got to take out the garbage. Like, not everyone can be a performer or an entertainer. There is someone who genuinely enjoys climbing a telephone pole and fixing electrical wires, which is fucking weird to me. But
some people just like going out to bars and drinking every night, which is weird to me.
I don't think.
No,
that's,
I think those
that's
are broken people.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah,
but in working with teachers, those are the people that have given up on their dreams. From what I've seen, I ask them over and over, "What you the fucking? If you had all the money in the world, what would you do?" All of them are like, I wanted to be a writer, but I couldn't because I was busy. And it's like, how the fuck?
Those are excuses.
Make yourself not busy.
That's the thing that blows my mind. Are people that are writers, they can't just fucking write. Like, we have to go to a place to be embarrassed for 5 minutes and then do that over and over again. You can't sit in the comfort of your own room and type.
You know what that tells me? That tells me they don't want it.
Yeah.
They don't know what they want.
Something that I lost what I was going to say. See, if I don't have what I'm going to say in my mind, I just lose it.
That's why Aaron has a notebook.
What people... Oh, yeah. If for whatever reason this ever doesn't work out in like 15, 20 years, at least I can be like, I tried. At least I can say I did this every single night and put my all into it every single night. Maybe not every single night, but I put my all into it. So what are you going to say to me?
Honestly, it's going to work. I've come to a place where it's like there's no fucking way it won't get to where we need to get it to.
If you stay on track,
yeah, as long as we stay on track, which I intend to do, and I'm sure George does, Will does, you do, Patino, Roth. Like,
I don't respect those people that rest on their laurels like that, because it tells me you stopped. It tells me you quit. It tells me you didn't want it. And all those times you looked me dead in the face like, no, I want it. We're not going to quit. It's like, deep down I knew you were gonna, and again, I'm right.
That's why when people say like, oh yeah, I'm just going to take some time off, like more than like a couple of days, I'm like, see you.
I will give someone, life happens, so I'll give someone a month. But usually what they do with that month is going to dictate whether I respect them or not. Because there are some people who take a month off and are like, right back on the horse.
Patino.
Yeah, right back on the horse. And not just on the horse, new shit.
Mm-hmm. He was writing.
Like, yeah, he came out with 5 minutes of new material. Good material? We can't say yet. But
no, it was not good material.
I will say he came out funnier than I expected.
Yeah.
Like, it showed that he was writing, and I was like, oh yeah, you never really stopped. You just... Going on stage can be a grind. Yeah. Sucking every night can be a grind, and I get the night. So I'll give someone a month. But if after a month you're like, oh, I'll come back next week, it's like, all right, dude, well,
you're done.
Yeah, whatever.
When you first started, who was in your class and who fell off? Can you remember?
Fuck. Stephen Roth, Jay Calderon, Carlos Patino. Does Frankie count?
He was around before. Wasn't he around before?
I would say Frankie's closer at 2 years, but I mean, you could. I would say anyone within the first 1 to 3, depending on how close you are, is in the same class. That's personal preference, though.
He was around with Beltran. Where's Beltran been?
He's doing the marquee and stuff. I don't think he has a car right now either.
Okay.
And again, just because you don't have a car doesn't mean you can't hit mics. It just shows you who's got grind and who doesn't. That's all.
I don't know if he was in my class, but someone I do find a little hilarious with just how they go about things is Howie.
Yeah, I knew it. Oh my god, dude, you were there during. We were all there during that weird parking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's just a weird guy.
Very strange man.
He's someone that would tell you to your face, I used to do comedy.
Oh man, it's
I mean, it's not a lie.
Exactly, it's not, but it is. It's an emotional lie. It's a lie of omission, or like I'm a comedian. I guess, dude. I'm also a race car driver because I speed on the 91.
I can see now. Oh, you were gonna say something?
He doesn't
No.
remember.
He needs to cross those fingers. No, I can see why comics would get mad at people who would say they're comics when they weren't. Like, I remember when I first started doing this shit and I was being lackadaisical about it, I could feel the anger from other comedians. And I was like, bro, I mean, I'm on stage, like, right now at this moment, so, like, I can call myself a comic. But then when you keep doing it every night and you're grinding, and then someone shows up and it's been, like, 3-4 months and they still say they're a comic, it's like, fuck you. I've been working hard. What have you been doing to earn that title in any way? So, yeah.
It's like someone who earns a black belt and then just stops going to class.
This is gonna stop the conversation short, but I have a question for you, George. Have you? Because I've been going to Hot Topic a lot recently, and I see those the Lettermans for like the Hogwarts houses. So I just been everyone I see in the comedy scene, I just been categorizing them in my mind from the different houses. Aaron's definitely a Gryffindor. I think Will's Hufflepuff. I think I'm also Hufflepuff. You're Ravenclaw. Steven Slytherin.
I don't have any context for
I would say Will. I would say Will is a Gryffindor.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
He doesn't like to show it, but if you put him in a just because there's no other word to really describe. If you put him in a situation where he has to be brave, he's not one to shy away from it.
Mm.
Like if there was a basilisk in his bathroom and there was a sword, he's like, well, guess I have to fucking kill this thing. Where somebody was like, someone needs to handle this for me. Will's a very like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah. It's I've just been having fun with that in my mind.
I would say Aaron.
I could see him as a Slytherin though.
Yeah, but not a bad Slytherin. Like a Severus Potter Slytherin or something. I don't know. That was his name, right? Harry's son.
Can we put this in Aaron context?
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Gryffindor. They just have courage inside of them.
They're charismatic. They're courageous. They're brave. Hufflepuff. They're smart, honorable. I want to say is what they're described as. Slytherin is not power hungry, but
ambitious.
Yeah, ambitious. Ambitious is a good word because they use that to describe Caesar. And then Ravenclaw's kind of the left outs.
So I'm either Slytherin or Gryffindor?
Or Gryffindor. I would say your personality type lends to Slytherin more. Yeah. You're definitely an ambitious person.
All right.
People find ambition intimidating as well, and I don't think they realize it. That's why a lot of people are haters.
Also, another thing I've been realizing about myself is that women who are ambitious or strong women freak me out sometimes.
The proper term is bitches.
With a lisp?
Yeah, bitches.
Independent women freak you out? Why? Because they cook and clean and don't smell like onion rings?
Mm-hmm. It's I don't know what it is about it. Independent women, it's like, oh, you don't need anyone.
See, I don't relate to that at all because I was raised by my mom.
I was also raised by my mom, but like my mom was a different type of woman.
My mom was an independent. My mom I have this deep-seated feeling in my soul that I can do anything if I really want to. I get that from my mom, not from my dad.
I get the opposite, where like independent women, because my mom was an independent woman, and how my mom was towards me. I think that would okay. I figured something out.
Wait, what the fuck just happened?
Is that because my mom was an independent and strong woman in the way she raised me and acted towards me, and sometimes it was like, oh, it weirds me out and makes me uncomfortable sometimes because it feels like I'm gonna get not talked down to, but I'm gonna I don't like being told things. I don't like being told to do things.
You'll do it because you want to do it, not because you told me to.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, sit down. I'm gonna stand for the rest of the day now. Asshole. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I don't like being told to do things.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a problem with authority. That's more of a parenting result than a motherly result, I would say.
Fair.
You're like, I do this myself. You don't have to tell me to do it. I'll fucking do it.
That's why I like comedy a lot, because no one told me to do it. I'm just doing it for myself.
It is a different pursuit when you choose to do something. I will agree. Because my mom made me play basketball. She made me play volleyball. And I wasn't good. I got good enough to play, but not enough to do anything with it. So I was also fat, though. She was probably concerned about my knees and my ankles. Shit gets weird when you're fat and little. Imagine being 5'2" and 180 pounds.
Cannot.
It's fucking butterball. It's like, dude, did you just come out of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? Fat ass.
A way I've resolved being okay with my height is that a lot of tall people have shit wrong with their hips and their knees. It's like, oh, you're gonna give out before me, so I'm fine with that.
I've never had a problem with my height. It's like I've never let it bother me, and I've dated girls that were taller than me. It's never been a problem. I think it's just my confidence in myself doesn't, like, my height, I can't change it. Why would I even bother thinking about it?
I only had a problem because people kept pointing it out.
Oh.
Did people point it out to you, George?
Probably. Yeah, probably. But it's like horizontally, we're all the same height. That's fine.
You put these interesting blinders around you when dealing with people that you don't feel like dealing with.
Yeah, I don't have to. I'm dumb. I'm trying to explain to you guys I'm fucking stupid. I have 10 marbles and 1 marble per thought.
I don't believe that.
My marbles are just really shiny.
It's no dumb person has a goddamn mind palace. When watching you before the ice house, being like, okay, over here by the armchair is going to be this joke, and I'm like, that's dumb. People don't do that. I interact with dumb people a lot.
Dumb people just haven't figured out their way. I just know how to manage my dumbness.
But that's inherently smart that you figured that out.
It took me 30 years.
Being smart is knowing that you know nothing.
Yeah, there you go.
It took me 30 years. I don't know. I don't know. No, I'm not old. I'm just more experienced. Like, that's all. If it's like you get a car and you're going to figure out how to drive it the best you can, doesn't mean it's the best car, doesn't mean it's a good car, but it's the car I have and I have to drive it.
I guess, how do I put this then? I think when you say that you are dumb, you're just being joking and self-deprecating. That's what I think. There's no way that you are a dumb person. That may
be how it comes off, but no, I genuinely feel like I have a hard time grasping a lot of things. Like, I have to sit with my thoughts. Otherwise, I don't fully understand a situation.
When you read, I'm going to out myself. When you read, do you ever have to, like, reread the paragraph real quick? Just did I get this?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. I thought that was just me.
Yeah, I'll go back. Mostly because I feel like I missed context. I also read very fast. I'm a quick reader. But I don't scan. I read. My girlfriend scans. But I read. I just read quickly. So, yes and no. I don't know. It's weird how I answer the question both ways. Like, yes, I do go back, but not because I read fast, but because I want the full context.
I've been finding more that I like saying I don't know sometimes. Because, like, when I say I don't know, people will just start giving me information. And it's like, oh, okay. Is
that what you would do to me? No, I would just give you
information.
I would
information.
I would just stop the conversation sometimes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, Jonathan, like, you want some advice? No, not really right now.
Okay.
I feel like our brains are like children. Like, they're like, you know when adults are trying to have a conversation and there's a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old trying to get mom's attention and mom's just trying her fucking damnedest to ignore her and continue the conversation? I think that's our brains. Some people's brains just keep fucking talking, and some people's brains talk themselves out, and some people have the ability to shut their brain up and be like, hey, can you go play checkers for an hour? Because I need to have this conversation.
What brain do you have, Jonathan?
I think my brain does what George just said, where it's just like, we're going to do this for an hour, but I don't want it to. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to sit down and write. What's this about Death Stranding? Let me just find this out. And I'll concentrate on that when I'm not supposed to be.
I think that's where, like, meditation is supposed to help. You know, it's supposed to allow you to get those thoughts go through in one ear and out the other, so it doesn't necessarily take away from your CPU speed.
I've been trying to meditate, but it's been freaking me
Dude,
out.
I fall asleep when I meditate. No shit. They're like, breathe. Shit. My bad. I think I went too far.
You said it was freaking you out?
Yeah, sometimes.
Why?
Because I don't know I have an inherent fear of the dark, and to really concentrate on meditating, it has to be dark for me. And so when it's totally silent and it's dark, I'll just get freaked out a little bit. I'll get uncomfortable.
I guess I could see that. I don't know. I feel like you should be able to quiet your mind in any circumstance. Like, you should be able to be funny in any circumstance. You should. There's universals, I guess, to everything that you do, and I think you should be able to carry her across.
I've been trying. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say maybe you're just not facing your fear.
Yeah, probably not. I've been trying to get better at that. Just trying to just throw out little, even if they're not funny, little quips in conversation, just so I can just try them out.
The being funny thing, for me, it's like a switch that I have to actively be like, hold on. It feels like right now the switch is behind a safe, and I have to remember the combination and open it up, and then I can flip the switch. But I want to be able for it to just be on the wall.
Yeah. I don't know if I want it to be on at all times, but I just want to be,
You can just turn it off, turn it on.
Turn it on.
We were in the car with KJ. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. We were in the car with KJ coming from a show, and I can't remember what he was lecturing us about.
He was I forget. Yeah, I don't remember.
He was teaching us about something.
He tried so hard to restart the memory, and he's like, I don't have it. you go.
He was teaching us about something, and we're driving, and he's speaking normally, and then he just changed.
He just turned it on.
He just became KJ on stage, and it wasn't like a different person. It was just clearly stage KJ. His
Stage A.
Stage A is right next to him at all times if he feels like it, and that's what I want to get to.
Yeah, that was it. Was impressive.
Creepy
Because it wasn't the same night, but we were coming back. It was at Flappers, and when he went up on stage at Flappers, he turned something on. And I was like, oh, this is different from when you normally go on stage. You're actually trying right now.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah, he's been what?
A long time.
12 years, I think he said he's been at it.
Consistently, very long time.
Like, that's experience. Yeah, I bet it's not necessarily a switch for him. It's just like putting on a different jacket.
Yeah. It's cold outside. I'm going to wear this jacket.
Yeah. I still have me, but let's put this one on real quick for 10 minutes.
It's a big reason why I like interacting with him, no matter how shitty it is for my confidence and ego, is there's always like I just learned something. Thanks, KJ. Put that in my pocket.
Yeah, that's why it's important to keep people that are funnier or as funny around you. Otherwise, you can't get better. You just cannot. So when other producers hang out with not funny people, I fucking hate them. Because it's a waste of time. It's not helping anyone. It's not helping that producer with their credits. It's not helping that comedian who's trying to get better. It's not helping anyone. And if you're paying them, you're doing them a disservice. If you're paying anyone that's got less than 5 years of experience, good chance you're doing them a disservice, unless they burnt that place down.
Do we have a lot of producers around this area that's paying?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of producers that will tell you, everyone that does my show, I pay.
Okay, well, we know it's a black producer.
Oh, sorry. Damn, dog, everybody I do on my show, I pay.
Okay, now we know it's like a street-level black producer. But that's interesting. I can see now why people talk shit about us. We don't pay people shit.
No, but we don't pay because we don't get paid.
Yeah, we don't get anything.
And we know
shit.
we don't deserve to get paid.
No, we don't.
I mean, we didn't. Now I think we do.
When we produce shows, I think we do.
Yeah, we'll put on a banger, but I'm not going to ask you to give me $800 for a mic.
Something that bothers me is when people seem to forget that they were also terrible at some point. That bugs the shit out of me. When people are like, these guys fucking suck, man. They're awful, fucking assholes. Like, they're just gonna do this and they're gonna put shitty people on. It's like, you were also a shitty person. You probably still are.
I'm sorry, Jonathan, but I'm gonna be one of those people now that you hate. I get frustrated now.
What do you mean?
When I know that like I also used to suck that bad, if not worse, but I've jaded myself to the point where they still bother me. I still get annoyed, even though I know like. It's okay. It's not like you still have to. There's steps to this. You know what? No. I think never mind. I'm gonna switch up what I'm saying. All right, here's what I'm saying.
You got dizzy too.
Yeah, took some twists and turns there, and we're gonna go back on track here. I get mad at people who suck, but clearly have no intention of getting better, of doing the process of getting better. There's a difference between someone who's like, oh, they suck, but I can see that they give a shit about this craft and that they're gonna get better, and I totally respect that, and I don't get mad at that. But when you get up there, and it's clear like you're a hustler comic, and you just want to earn a buck, and you're just going to be up there and be wacky, that gets on my nerves. So I think that's the distinction. The end.
Yeah. Those people that are just trying to get their buck, while they may be funny, they're never going to experience the feeling that it is to get off stage and from a brand new place you've never been to, going to a mic that you've never been to, getting off stage and hearing everyone mutter, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
They'll never get that. And they don't know what they're missing to have the respect, even if it's just for that 5 minutes, from your peers that do the same thing, that understand the craft, for an entire room to go, oh, that was good. They'll never get that. And that's why they won't go as far, because that's more gas in the tank than $20 will put. I'm going to get that tattooed.
Are you ever going to get a tattoo?
Probably not. Oh. I have commitment issues. I can barely put a sticker on my laptop. Are you kidding me? Like,
I just want to see you with sleeves and shit.
No, that's weird.
Teardrops.
If I get tattoos, it's going to be Yakuza style, and you're not going to be able to see it.
Wait, what?
Yakuza style.
Oh, like a back tattoo?
Kind of. Or like right at the shirt line kind of tattoo.
I want all my... Oh, sorry.
No, just because I do... That's another thing. I feel like a tattoo should be for you, and it's cool to show it off, but if that's a big reason why you're getting it, then... Not that I don't respect it, I just don't get it.
I want a bunch of tattoos that you can... That no one can see, just so I can have them. Just like, oh, yeah. I have this. Like, what the fuck? Jesus.
Like George St. Pierre, the MMA fighter. Like, you think about him, he doesn't have any tattoos, but he has like a Kyokushin tattoo on his chest, and it's very minimal, but it's like, it's for him. He's not brandishing it. He's not putting on sleeves and then wearing a tank top in the middle of fall, which happens out here a lot, and I fucking hate all of you.
Douchey.
It's dumb.
I just need, in terms of dumb tattoos, so there's this deaf kid I was talking to about tattoos, and he was like, yeah, I want to get flames. I'm just going to get flames right here. And I was like, oh, why? And he's like, because it looks cool. And I just, it's
gross.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You're jogging memories now. There's this kid that I went to high school with. All right. Do you guys know someone who would go to like those specialty sword stores that also sold knives and like anime stuff and brass knuckle knives? So there's that's a very specific type of fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
And so he graduated from high school. He was a year older than me. He would spend every paycheck he would buy a new sword.
Oh my God.
He would pose with it and then post it on MySpace.
He's getting ready.
Yeah. And then he bought like a trench coat.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was trying to be Neo. He would like name his swords. He was like, this one's Rebecca, and it's like a butterfly demon blade.
Does he still do this?
Probably.
So what is the difference between like my movie collection and his sword collection?
That he's just consuming items. There's no artistry involved, because everything he's buying is not handmade. It's made in a factory, and it's made with a mold. Like it doesn't hold an edge. There's no function to whatever he keeps. It's not ceremonial. And you bought it at a mall. Like, you don't have your white belt and they awarded you golden sai because you started martial arts. You didn't get a katana because you decapitated a chicken. You got a katana because it's got a fucking wings on it, and no one would buy it for $160.
I feel like you only need one sword.
Yeah.
I have one sword.
Fuck you. You have a sword?
Yeah.
Why didn't you bring it to the apartment?
Because
I didn't have a lot of space.
He's like, where am I going to put it? On my couch?
On his fucking air mattress and pop it.
I think it's in
That's dope.
the closet? I don't remember.
I want a wooden sword so I could beat the shit out of someone with it and then talk shit later.
You think there's any kendo classes around where you can just learn how to do that shit?
Dude, kendo will fuck you up.
I'd imagine you're just hitting each other with wooden swords.
Yeah, and there somehow every time the sword will find a spot where there's no padding. I did it twice.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible. And those swords, like, they're fucking solid too.
Yeah. Anytime I
Doesn't help.
would watch wrestling and they just hit each other with the swords and it'd leave like a giant welt on their back, I'm like, oh my god.
They fuck you up. And like, so the gloves, they're gauntlets, so they end high, but it's a ceremonial like kimono that you have to wear. So there's a good 3 inches right above your wrist where it's pad and then kimono. Like, it's still padded, but you're gonna take that
You're gonna feel
fucker
it.
right there.
Yikes.
And the way you hold it too, it's like ting, 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 over. It's like volleyball players though. At a certain point, those nerves are dead. So
Daniel Bryan, a wrestler, he was doing this match where these 2 guys were just hitting him with the kendo sticks, and the kendo sticks were like splintering and breaking, but he had to just take all those hits, and by the end of the match, his shit was just bloody. It was terrible.
what was I saying? Oh, okay. So that crazy sword buyer dude, his first tattoo.
Oh, he had
His
he
first
got
tattoo.
more. Okay.
Yeah, he's gotten plenty, and they're just as dumb. But his first tattoo was a piece on his right shoulder.
Like big?
Yeah. Like his whole shoulder from like
Short
tricep
sleeve.
to shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a shark. Just a shark. Like, I want this shark, and he pointed on the wall, kind of shark. Like, it was a shark like going to bite someone, and he was like, "Doesn't it look cool?" And I walked away from him.
There's something about those type of people where I know their thought process. I know why you think getting a shark would look cool.
I don't.
It's because it's like they're stuck in being 9 years old when like sharks and dinosaurs an extreme, like it's like
Okay.
it has sharp teeth and it kills things and it looks tough. You know what I mean? Like in their head, it's like if he was a kid in the 90s and he was 9 years old during the 90s, he would.
He's emotionally stunted.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I guess I could say. Well, it's weird because his sister was a year younger than him, and totally normal. 100% totally normal, easy to talk to. I kind of had a crush on her for a little while because she was cute, but I was like, that's your brother, and I don't want to be anywhere near that.
People like that freak me out because I think of them in an apocalypse situation, and I'm like, oh, you're going to snap and you're going to do some stupid shit.
They're not gonna.
No,
that
they're
guy
gonna
wouldn't
die.
survive. Yeah, he would die.
He would die. He would take his sword. He'd be like, I'm ready, and then swipe at someone and it'd break.
If he doesn't die, no, he'd be a liability to have around me.
Yes.
Like, not snapping like I'm gonna murder you way, but snapping like I can't. I'm just gonna cry here, and he's just gonna be a liability.
Yeah. Stay away from that guy during an apocalypse. To go to his compound, take all of his shit, and then get away from him.
See, but you would go to his compound and he wouldn't have food or water. He would
Just be
have
weapons.
bullets and knives and brass knuckles.
Are we establishing that he lives on a compound?
Yeah.
He'd probably just stay on his parents' land after they died, and it would become a compound because no one would go there.
He calls it the comp. He wrote a sign. He put it on the shed that he lives in, and it says compound.
He puts a combination lock on the front, only tells everyone the code.
He has a manifesto somewhere, probably.
I don't know. He probably doesn't have time to write. He's too busy fixing his wounds from his blunt sword. Just such a... I shit you not, this kid probably spent $10,000 in a year in those stupid specialty stores.
That's how they stay
Now,
open.
you know what's weird, though? If he bought a full armor, like a knight's armor, I'd be less judgmental.
Is it like going all out if you're going to do it?
Yeah, if that's going to be your passion, you better fucking enjoy it. You
Is
better
it-
have a horse in the bag with a lance.
Is this Carlos's?
Yeah.
Carlos Patino, clean your equipment, my guy. Oh
He
my
left
God.
it here. Be nice. He left it here because Aaron left ours somewhere else in Riverside. So
Yeah.
he was like, we have a podcast today. We'll figure it out.
We're like gypsies. We just have the equipment and we go places.
Oh, so what happened was that Aaron forgot the equipment, and then you invited Carlos because he had equipment?
No, he was going to come regardless.
Okay.
Yeah, Carlos, I think, always just has his stuff in the car so that he can do a podcast when he's at a mic.
Okay.
Smart.
That makes sense. Do you think those stores, the sword stores, are just for those people?
Yes.
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 Who the fuck else? I go in there to look around and laugh
Yeah.
when I leave.
Occasionally, I'm like, oh, that's a cool knife, and then I realize that it's probably not going to hold an edge. Like, if you're going to buy a knife, there are brands to go with. There's nothing of quality in there in terms of metalworking or, like, historical things. Because they also have, like, those Chinese soldier dolls, and it's usually, like, a very Asian-specific medieval time kind of store. But it's all mass-produced stuff that you buy on, like, Wish.
Weebs go in
Amazon.
there. Weebs. that guy would be a fan of my comedy. That's what I'm coming to learn. No bullshit.
Your audience, you cater to weebs?
Yeah, for real. Not on purpose. They just do. They just like what I do.
Because they're also sad. And so
I
they
think-
can latch on to it.
I think I'm kind of like a Kevin Smith in that there's something wrong with me, but he's found a way to still have charm, some level of charisma and social ability.
I think they see you as a weeb who somehow made it out of weebdom.
Yeah, just kind of crawled my way out and was able to interact like a normal
If
person.
you could do it, I can too.
Yeah.
Weaves are weird. I don't know. Like that's another like life track that I'm just gonna ignore you guys. I don't have time for that.
Put
Like,
those horse blind, the Peaky Blinders.
yeah.
Seeing people
good
commit
show.
their lives to stuff that isn't either productive, that you can't get paid off of, that you also like doing, is weird to me.
You like video games?
But I don't play video games all day every day.
You used to?
But now I don't.
Right, but when you did it, do you remember the mindset you were in?
Oh, you're right.
I have to see passion when you do it. I think I said this in the last podcast. I don't care if I ask you what you're doing and you're like, oh, I'm trying to get better at knitting. If I see you enjoy knitting and that puts the spark in your eye, cool, dude. Keep at it. You know, knit me a fucking sweater. I'll ask you for something so I could support your art. But, like, I have to see passion. If you're just filling a void with anything, then I don't respect you.
Do you? How do you feel about someone who is passionate about like money, like a Donald Trump type of guy who's like his
I think
passion?
they're confused.
Okay, can you
Yeah,
elaborate?
well, from my perspective, like from their perspective, money is the measurement and the bar which they measure success.
Yeah.
But because I don't value, that's not how I measure success, then I think that their perspective is skewed and they're confused. They're using the emotion that the money gives them to fill that need. That's how they know how to get that dopamine fill.
Wealth is of the mind, not the pocket.
That was so beautiful, Jonathan.
I know. I'm just reading Chinese adverbs
I thought
by
you were just
Pharrell
looking-
Williams.
I thought you just looked at one of those inspirational calendars.
I just look at people who I'm like, I want to be like that one day, and I just take what they're saying and apply it to my life.
That makes sense.
I think you can be wealthy and empty and also wealthy and full. Like, we can become wealthy doing comedy and we'll be happy, but there's still plenty of people that are wealthy who don't have a passion, who just stayed on track and just were at the job for 35 years, and now they're, VP.
Yeah.
And now they have this salary, but they're also locked in this life of...
Living a loveless life.
Kind of.
No friends. No one to have them on by their side.
Yeah. So I don't know. Me personally, I think being passionate about money is a facade. I think the way the money interacts with the world, you can be passionate about. You can be passionate about investing. That sounds fucking hoity-toity and
The stock market.
white collar, but yeah, when you're investing, you're putting confidence into something. You're like, oh, I believe in this product.
It's like gambling.
Kind of, yeah. It makes it okay, and you are manipulating money and taking advantage of the system and kind of flexing your privilege. But you got to the show. You're allowed to do that.
What's that thing where people like just love numbers? I know it's a thing.
Mental retardation.
Autism.
I think it's called Rain Man syndrome.
Really?
No, I'm joking.
Okay. I like people who like numbers just because I just think of them as really smart people. I like manipulating numbers. It's like, oh, that's cool. I respect that.
I think everyone has a deep level of an appreciation for numbers and statistics. That's why things like Fitbits and trackers and pedometers and everything is so key. Everyone loves it.
Were you gonna ask the same thing about the whoop?
Yep.
How's that whoop treating you?
Great. What am I, 2 weeks in now? And I really am valuing the analysis of the sleep measurement. Like, I knew it was but I wasn't excited about it. But it measures my heart rate to let me know how long it took to fall asleep, how long I stayed asleep, and what stages of sleep I was in and for how long.
Oh shit!
So, like, before, like, this week especially, I've been just trying to get good rest. And it's game-changing.
So, like, everything you're saying is a good thing, and I support it for you. When I see that, it creeps me out.
Why?
There's
Technology.
no, it's not even, there's something just invasive about it. It just creeps me out. Like, I don't mind other people doing it. I'm not going to say take that fucking thing off you. Like, do you? For me, there's something creepy about it. I just don't. I don't dig it.
Why? What's the creep factor? Where does it come from?
I think it comes from college and learning about how media works, and how the people that are at the top of that media are incredibly manipulative, and they'll use that information against you as much as possible. Not only to take your shit, there's people who are just trying to earn money off of you. Whatever. If you want to send an ad that is specific to me, that's fine. That works. But it's the type of person who gets into power, his goal isn't about money. It's just megalomania, and it's just controlling people. There's those people that exist, and they're the ones that get to the top because they're so cutthroat and they don't give a fuck. Now you've given them all of this information. So have I through social media and through doing podcasts and shit. But I recognize it's inevitable. But if I can stay away from the stuff that makes me uncomfortable, I'll just feel happier.
I feel like knowing is half the battle when it comes to manipulation. Like, if you know someone's manipulative or that they can manipulate you, it's like, oh, well, I'm just going to... I know you are, so I'm going to do whatever I want.
And it's also any basic knowledge of modern history. Like, modern American history, the more the technology got better, the weirder shit got. And, like, this is where revolutions start and shit. Like, I know I sound paranoid, but I'm very concerned that we're going to get to a crazy violent place soon.
We're in a crazy violent place.
Mm-hmm.
And
Worse.
I think being in America, we have this Stockholm syndrome, and we have our own blinders on where we don't... School shootings are regular here. Like, we have the body count of a country that's in active war. We are in a time of violence. We are in a time of disconnect. We are in a time where people don't connect with each other, and it is partially because of technology, but technology is also a connecting device.
Right. It's how we use it.
Yeah. We're not on the cusp of a revolution. We're in the middle of one.
I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens in the future to find out, but
we just got out of the PC revolution, I would say.
I'll agree with that.
What is the next era, you think? Pat, what is post-PC? What happens?
What's the new revolution? Well, I think we're still in ripple effects from PC. We're still trying to grasp the fact that words are just words.
I think the people who were leading the PC revolution are just now becoming...
getting in trouble for the shit that they said?
Not in trouble, but they're learning how the world actually works now.
Because they're getting older?
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, I can't say this. This is fucking stupid. Yeah. So, I think, they're also getting tripped up. There's just something... I just have this unnerving feeling about all of it. It's happening faster than people are considering. The Jurassic Park... what was that quote? Just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean you should do something. We're like a bunch of kids playing with dad's gun.
Yeah, that works.
I guess, but some of the kids hung out with dad long enough to understand how to use it properly.
Some of those kids are the ones who shot themselves.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it's like the deep fakes thing creeps me out. The reality, like I've always had this weird connection when it comes to reality. Deep fakes is creepy. It's so creepy that in good 5, 6, maybe 7 years, you're not going to know what the fuck is real or not on the internet.
Yeah.
And that's just creepy to me.
I think we have to concede. I think the next quote-unquote revolution is connectivity.
Yeah.
I think we have to concede the fact that our personal information is no longer personal.
Singularity.
That everything, yeah. And I think in terms of efficiency, if we could develop a hive mind as a species, we would get so much more done.
It's fair.
And I think the internet and technology is going to be the way we connect. So,
have you guys watched the Explained series on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
It's this Vox series that used to be on YouTube, and it's there's this one about I think it was It was about cryptocurrency and how like it was so ungovernment regulated, and it started talking about humanity as a large. And I was saying that that I think if humanity can just get past this simple bullshit here, then no, it wasn't about. It was about extraterrestrial life. Is that humanity has like intelligent life goes through certain hurdles, and we don't know if some hurdles are harder than others. So I feel like if we can get past the hurdle of like just dealing with our own bullshit, then we can jump towards the next hurdle, which is probably going off into space and doing shit.
I mean, that's I don't know whose scientific principle that is, but it's like there are levels of existence.
Yeah,
like levels of society, and we're like a level 3, whereas level 4 now becomes interstellar. Like we're locked into this planet because of our technology. Until we can figure out that means we can't jump to the next level of civilization.
The theory is like, the theory that goes hand in hand with that is like with the evolutionary shit. We might be like certain hurdles might be tougher for other things to get past. So like while species on the left side of the Milky Way might have already got past our hurdle, we don't know how hard that hurdle was. So, and some other species might be stuck behind a hurdle we were already past. So
okay, so yeah, there's 3 different types of civilization. Type 1 is a planetary civilization. That means everything we use, it's us. We're locked into this planet. Type 2 is called a stellar civilization, and that's using like solar energy, star energy. Let's see, what's this guy's name? The Kardashev scale. Type 3 civilization is a galactic civilization, so they can use the energy throughout the galaxy, not just the planets, not just the stars, but everything present within it. And then those are the main ones. There's 2 more, I guess, a 4 and a 5. It's multi-universe and a multi-dimensional civilization, but those are hypothetical. But the theory is that if we can become type 2 civilization, humanity becomes immortal.
yeah,
That until we can leave type 1, we're going to become extinct. If we can become a type 2, humanity now is immortal, and we can become...
once we colonize another planet,
we don't even have to colonize.
Really?
No, we can just exist. If we can get off this planet and use solar energy as a sustainable energy, we become immortal. We can just ship people into fucking... As long as they're near a star, they can just exist.
You know what? Okay, I'm going to rechange my perspective on it. It is not the destination that I'm concerned about, the process to get there. Like the revolution itself is a disturbing thing. Anytime human beings have had revolutions, shit gets really crazy. It settles down, and I recognize there's an ebb and flow to it, but the experience of the revolution, and I know you're saying we're in it right now, there's a concern for me of it getting worse. The idea of like, and I'm so tired of talking about this guy, but the idea of him getting presidency for another 4 years sounds daunting to me. And hearing just it, that's one of my concerns is the process of getting there, I think.
I don't think he's going to change anything if he gets another term.
because I mean, besides the shit he's been talking, from what I understand, I could be totally wrong. Not a lot has been changing.
I mean, on a political standpoint, like if you worked on Capitol Hill, there's a lot of rumblings and rustlings and fucking feathers getting rustled. Like there's a lot of people upset on the Hill, but for general population's sake, it's kind of like having just a bad global representation of the United States.
We have a drunk uncle as our president.
Yeah,
I'm talking more about taking ourselves out of the what is it, the climate accord? What basically the world was like, hey, we should focus on the environment. We're kind of fucking shit up. And Trump, like first day, was like, all right, fuck that. Let's get out of that. Little things like that will affect us long term, make me uncomfortable.
He thinks that it should be hot right now.
Goddamn.
Uh,
I don't know why it's okay to let old people... We barely are okay with letting old people drive. We're going to let them drive the country.
Have you seen that post where there's clearly like when he posted that picture of like, I love Hispanics, he had the taco salad in the drawer behind him. It was a bunch of medication with stuff that had the same stuff that's in meth.
Yeah,
and he's been taking that all the time.
that's how he keeps going.
Which is like, we have a meth head in office, and no one has been like, hey, we should just not let this guy run.
I mean, a lot of people have, but he got in.
But people who can actually do something about it are not doing anything.
It's because of red tape. They're trying to, but
Bureaucracy is bullshit.
well, you need bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy?
You need it to get shit done.
Debatable.
I'm listening.
Anytime there's bureaucracy, it slows to a halt. Maybe if not to a halt, it just slows down to an unnecessary level.
The buddy system has bureaucracy.
But you still get shit done in a timely fashion.
Because we have enough bureaucracy. If we didn't have bureaucracy, we wouldn't get anything done.
I guess I should rephrase them. There's too much bureaucracy.
I'd agree there.
Too much big government.
Yeah.
Too much regulation.
It's like, no, we should do this first. No, slow this down. Paperwork, this, that, and the third.
But then you need so like too much regulation. If you don't regulate, I don't know, if you don't regulate McDonald's, if you don't say like, hey, you need this level, you need a certain amount of rat feces, you can't go past that. Do you know how much fucking rat feces would be in the food? Like, people don't give a fuck if they can earn a buck. And if you don't regulate them, they're going to do crazy shit. Unfortunately, yeah. So you need a level of bureaucracy and government control and organization, but it's just too far. There's so many people you just can't organize this many people.
Something weird about a system that runs itself.
What do you mean?
Like, the only way a king would make sense to me is just like say Parliament's doing this thing and then the king's this way. If the king is smart enough, if there's like a true philosopher king, he could be like, no, guys, that's stupid. Let's do it in this way. I feel like, because the president doesn't really, how much, I don't know.
I didn't realize how much the president can actually do, but apparently he can do a lot. Didn't realize that.
But there's so much red tape on the president.
Remember when we watched Vice?
Yeah.
Remember what we learned from that?
I think the president's basically got a big bag of wrenches, and he can fuck up a lot of people's plans. Can't necessarily stop them because there's always a way around, but he can make life very inconvenient.
The next president needs a PhD.
The next president there's probably, I'm on Rogan's team of that. We don't need a fucking president. There's a group of smart people. Like, that's, but you can't.
No, we need a star that the government can control.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Possibly. Someone that's willing to just be like, you want me to do what? All right, that sounds like a good idea.
I feel like that's what Donald Trump is. But
Donald Trump just doesn't have any advisors. He just like, I want to do this.
He watches Fox and Friends. They advise him a lot of times.
I think they would definitely take advantage of The Rock, but I think it would be beneficial. Things would move in politics. Because I feel like a lot of things right now in politics are kind of at a standstill because of Donald Trump. Like, because of the things he says, because of the things he does, it unfortunately operates much slower because he's like, no, let's not do that. Let's do this instead.
It's stressful for us to watch Donald Trump do stupid shit, but imagine like the people in his cabinet are just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I think they're used to it by this point. It's like when Uncle Cito comes. It's like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see what he does this time.
I haven't seen him, thank God.
Good.
Yeah, I can't.
He said his name. He's going to show up at the next mic now.
Yeah.
Say his name 3 times. Fucking Beetlejuice shit.
When did he start coming around?
I don't know.
Years ago. He pops up and then he disappears and he pops back up again.
Yeah, I do comedy. Yeah. He's one of
those people hurt my soul.
What? The crazy ones?
But I do comedies. I've done comedy. I'm a comedian. There's one kid, I'm not going to name his name, he might actually listen to this, but I used to work with him. He didn't know where I did comedy, and he started being like, yeah, I do comedy here, and I do comedy here, and I was just like, no, you don't. I was there yesterday. What are you talking about?
You said that to him?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was a little more inquisitive. I was like, really? Oh, that's odd. I was there yesterday. He was like, oh, yeah, I did it like last month. And I was like, must have been when I wasn't there then, huh? Weird. Super weird. Yeah, it was gross. As fuck.
I think we talked about it the last time I was here, but you notice people start trying to be funny around you when they know you do comedy?
Yes, and it's a very annoying thing. It's uncomfortable is what it is.
I don't think it's uncomfortable, I just think it's funny. It's like, oh, you don't have to, we don't have to one-up each other, man.
Yeah. Though we can keep passing the ball, and that's fun. We don't have to beat each other with the ball. People are weird when they try to be funny, and then they do you can use this in your sketch. You can use that in your act. Are you still doing that comedy thing?
I was writing at work, and the head chef was like, "You write your stuff down, man. That's cheating. What are you doing?" It's like that's not how you. No, it's not
like,
how
dude, you learn the recipes you learn are written down. Shut the fuck up.
There's something about comedy where people seem so confident about it.
People think they know what it is, and it bothers me because comedy's so prevalent. Like, you have to be dumb to not understand what it is, but a lot of people don't.
A lot of people are dumb.
I think you really have to not actively do it, but do it a couple of times. Where you're like, oh, okay, I get it now.
God. No, because even when I was a kid and I watched like Dane Cook's special, I was like, obviously he wrote these down. Like, you're not gonna put this on wax and fucking let it fly. You're gonna have some good shit.
Rory Scovel, though, his Netflix special where it was all just riffing. He didn't.
How was it?
I haven't watched it personally, but Steven said it was really good.
Oh, that's good. You know what's terrible? You know who's terrible? Steve Martin.
He doesn't like comedy, though.
I haven't. What? Wait, hold on. I've been meaning to watch his stuff recently, but I don't know anything about it.
It's terrible. Oh, watch Steve Martin and Martin Short's comedy special. Try to get past the first 10 minutes. Try. I dare you.
Is it actually bad?
It is fucking terrible.
It's also dated.
But it came out in like 2018.
Yeah, but the fact that it is Steve Martin, it's like he's trying to be old Steve Martin.
Was he funny?
So it
was
felt
old
dated.
Steve Martin funny?
No.
He was definitely a comedic actor, but he did comedy.
Yeah.
You almost had to if you wanted to be a star.
If you're reading now, I'll let you borrow his book. I read it. His whole biography.
Is it Cliff Notes it?
It is the process of Steve Martin deciding to become a comedian and him climbing up the ladder to success, realizing that what he got made him unhappy, and then changing course into film. That's basically what it is. And the whole rise, everything he was writing about how he created his jokes and the way he thought about it was like, oh, you're doing this wrong. Like, the whole way through, I was like, you're going to end, it's infuriating. And I fucking hate that he got successful with it at all. It's annoying to me.
It's a good example of, like, just keep at it.
Yeah.
You're going to make it.
Fucking go
just
on.
keep at it. Because he wasn't particularly good. He wasn't particularly attractive. A lot of it was nepotism, but you're going to get that if you keep at it. Like, you're going to make those connections regardless. So,
God damn, he's so bad. Please watch it. Please watch his special. Please. I want to be
It's
there.
on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Have you seen Judd Apatow's special?
Ugh.
No.
Oh my god!
I started watching it. It was terrible.
It is. I'm not one to say it was bad just because he makes more money than me. He's a comedian that's been in the game longer.
He's
but
not a
He's a
comedian.
comedy writer.
Yeah, he's a writer and a director.
I thought he was a comedian at some point.
At
Wasn't
some
he?
point when he first
so was Uncle Cito.
Yeah, he's a filmmaker. He's a comedic filmmaker, and that's different.
Yeah.
And he has a special.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Netflix sometimes just hands that shit out.
Yeah.
Dude, go look at the stand-up lineup.
Have you seen Arsenio Hall's new
There's
special?
plenty of garbage.
I've seen the trailer for it.
Oh, ugh. It's ridiculous.
When I see things like that, it's like, I didn't hear about you working out your material last year. Are you just going to come out with it, really? You think you're Eddie Murphy? What's going on?
I hope Eddie Murphy takes like at least 2 years
To figure this
to
out.
like get back into the swing of things.
I was watching a biography about him, and I don't think he's gonna. He's a 1 in a million guy. Like I think, give him a year and he'll be fine. Like, that's how naturally charismatic and funny he is.
I can see that. Yeah. I can't think of an Eddie Murphy role I didn't enjoy.
Yeah, I can send you the biography if you actually watch it, which you won't.
Where is it?
It's on YouTube. I can send it to you. You won't watch it.
Send it to me. I might.
Yeah,
I'll add it to my queue.
You're big on mights and maybes.
Yeah, because I don't want to commit to a lot of things.
Yeah,
Because if I don't,
I shouldn't say that.
it's gonna pit. It's not watching stuff that other people tell me to watch or listen to. I don't like committing to those because it's like if I don't, I'm gonna be angry at myself. Because I'm like, if I said I'm gonna do something and I don't do it, it's gonna get on my nerves.
Messenger, WhatsApp, text, Instagram. What are you actually going to look at?
What's that?
Okay.
If somebody recommends me something that I already put in my head, like, oh, I'll watch that eventually, then I'll move it to the front of the line. But if it's like a watch this, it's like, okay, I'll watch it next time I clean my house. Like, which right now is never because I'm leaving. So fuck this place. Fuck it. I'm excited.
Like, it's one of those things where, like, in a weird way, I just don't like being told. In a weird way, I'm being told to watch something. And it's like if I find it on my own, I probably would have.
You remind me. I remember when I used to go busking, street stand up.
Yeah.
I used to do it with these punk rock kids, and I'm calling them kids because they were younger than me. And I remember I told one of them, like, hey, man, can you turn the guitar down a little bit? And he was like, I have this pet peeve. I don't like it when people tell me to turn my guitar down. And it's like, can you grow the fuck up? Like, it doesn't sound good. Turn the fucking guitar down.
And be like, all right, dude. Do my fucking song.
I could be productive. No, no, productive, cooperative. But if it's like on my own, if it's in a on my own time type of thing, I have to. A good way for me to do it is if I discover it on my own, and then I'll just do it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, if my priority list is made 2 weeks in advance, so if you tell me that week you want me to watch it, good chance it's not going to happen. But if you tell me 2 weeks in advance, much better chance it's going to happen. I have a chance to write it down, be like, oh, I'll watch it on Wednesday. It's cool. So, life is weird.
I've been meaning to watch the Dolomite thing.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You should watch this.
Oh, can I borrow that?
How
I got
long
that
you-
from Will, right?
Like
No, it's mine.
Oh,
I let him borrow it.
couple
I was
days.
saying.
What?
He was talking about it.
Monday, I'll give it back to you.
Okay.
Because I've been on trying to watch a lot of Lenny Bruce recently.
I'm gonna start carrying like shitty movies in my bag and be like, dude, check this shit out.
Oh, yes.
He also
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Will also let me borrow this. Should I?
that's a good one.
Should I read this?
No,
Yeah.
you shouldn't.
Yeah,
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
No.
yeah, you should. It's
a-
good. It's Orwell.
It's a good book, but I don't think you should read it.
I'm gonna come to the next mic with a fucking tinfoil hat on. And
No,
I'm
you're gonna throw your phone away and then walk to the mic. That's what's gonna happen.
Have you ever read Brave New World?
No, I'm not Mexican.
That's
I don't know
rude.
how to respond to
That's
that.
rude as fuck.
No,
It's
no.
one of those books where it's just like you don't need to be any more paranoid. I think you're fine where you're at. Anytime you walk into the apartment with a new paranoia, I'm like, God, just live, man.
I am
live
just
it."
living.
It's not. I don't think 1984 is gonna do that to him. I think not because of the fact that like he knows when it was written. I think it's gonna just be more like, so I'm right.
But his brain's gonna. Yeah, I guess.
I'm. It's funny because yes, I'm paranoid and everything, but I do accept that the future's the future, and it is what it is. It's fine. It's just there's an uneasy feeling about it, so I'm just going to take that into consideration. That's all.
However, in 1984, while he does get a lot right, there is a lot that a lot of people ignore that is just fucking wrong.
I hear it's like you use your tongue to make shit happen.
No, that was Starship Troopers. But there is a lot of people cherry pick 1984, and they're like, dude, it's just so true. And a lot of it is, but there's a lot of shit that you're like, this is because you wrote this in 1930.
Also, George Orwell was he also a little just crazy?
Yeah.
You have to be
did-
kind of crazy.
He did some weird shit.
I'm crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy people are the best people.
Sometimes,
It's a type of crazy.
yeah. If you're a wide-eyed, like I'm gonna tell you everything that's on my mind, crazy.
Me?
No, you're more like egotistical.
You wait for the
crazy.
opportunity to tell us what's on your mind. You
Yeah.
don't just walk around.
You wait for your chance. You're like a tiger in the grass. We're just like, hey, Aaron, what do you think about this? Now's my chance.
Like, where did that chart come from, dude? You just walk around with that? That's weird.
I got a projector screen.
Have you been watching Big Mouth?
No, I haven't. I haven't
fantastic.
even
You know
started.
that kid, the Asperger's kid, who's just like furious.
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
seeing that a lot in here.
Yeah. I just carry around a projector and I project a TED Talk, and then I just go everywhere just preaching to people.
That's what you do with street stand-up, basically.
You're a barker. You're a carnival barker. Come on, come on. Witness the fine laughings of Aaron Chase.
Yeah, there you go.
You know,
What?
discovering what type of comedian you are is really entertaining. Like, not in a derogatory way. I know you're gonna take this derogatory, but
I
it's
will.
not. You're more. I feel like you're a performing comedian, where like you're fun to watch.
Okay.
But I think I'm coming around to me being more of a writer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
If you could elaborate potentially.
Performing comedians are like
Who are performing comedians?
Crystalia. This is a good
Okay.
example.
Okay.
Whereas like he's really entertaining to watch, and just to hear what comes out of your mouth, just because you do it in such a weird way,
I do.
and you're in such a weird.
You're memorable.
You're very memorable.
Okay. Who else? Who's another performing comedian, and who's not a performing comedian?
Another performing comedian. Shit.
I would say Dane Cook is a performing comedian. Who's not a performing comedian? Tom Segura. Tom Segura and Hannibal Buress.
Mitch Hedberg.
So,
Burt Kreischer is a very performing comedian.
I don't. Okay.
I bet people would say Jeselnik is not a performing comedian, but I would disagree.
He's a performing comedian in disguise.
Like, he has to maintain that edge for the whole hour. That's why he has to come out hard every time with every joke. Otherwise,
Kristen Schaal said it really funny. It was just like, you say you're alt comedy, but you're really just doing comedy, just in a slightly different way.
I don't like my set at the Ice House. I don't perceive that as performing.
I perceive it as performing because you're not always the like. How you come up on stage is just like, yeah, you know, you're just talking and your feelings are out there, but you're not always like a arm around the chair type of guy all the time.
Sometimes I get animated.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is like
you got to the ground when you're doing your candy bar joke. You got on the ground.
Yeah. I'm trying to mix the like. Be me and calm the way I am, and then you have a spike of the other part of me, which is performing, and then you go back down to regular me.
Yeah.
Okay.
How would you classify yourself, George? Performing or more writer?
I would say I'm a writer. I've tried to be more performing because I thought that's what it was missing, but it just came off as disingenuous. I move if I have to. I move if I need to, but I don't mind staying stationary. I could do my shit on a palette. I don't have to move. However, my delivery can be performy if the joke's not ready. And I realized that when we had the blind dude in the audience. Like, it was really a turning point for my writing. It's because I realized halfway through the joke, like, I can't sell this to him. He's not going to see what I'm doing. And so I have to fix how I'm writing. So
that blind dude there is like a gift horse. Because like you really got to know how to navigate that.
Kind of. And until you realize that that's a thing, you don't realize that that's a thing. Until you have to do it, you're like, oh, shit. I thought my jokes, because I want my jokes to be across the board. I want you to be able to hear it on album, see it, and then just hear it. Like, you should be able to get it if you're pissing in the improv and you're hearing my set. You should still be able to get it. So when I realized I couldn't give it to him, I was like, oh, what a waste of my fucking time.
How do you feel about... I've been wondering this. I just now remembered. How do you guys feel about Mitch Hedberg? Because I know a lot of people who don't get comedy don't like him, but people who know how to write jokes are like, yeah, he's fucking hilarious.
As a comedic joke writer, he's hilarious. I don't know if he could have sustained that. Whatever he was doing, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know if that is something that would have worked now.
He was doing stoner Stephen Wright, and that worked. Because Stephen Wright was doing, like, drunk Stephen Wright. So it was different enough, but it was still one-liner, deadpan-y enough where it was entertaining. But I think what made Mitch different from Steve was that even if Mitch was terrified and closing his eyes on stage, it still looked like he was having a great fucking time.
He's on heroin.
Yeah, maybe. But it still looked like he was having a blast and performing for you. So I think it was sustainable because you're not going to get that from anyone else.
I think if he did what Anthony Jeselnik did, which is evolve, like when you watch Thoughts and Prayers and then you watch Fire in the Maternity Ward, you can see like, oh, you're doing this. This is still Anthony Jeselnik, but this is an evolved Anthony Jeselnik. And I think as long as Hedberg had evolved what he was doing, I think that would have.
I think he would have. I don't know if you get to a Hedberg level without consistently working at it. And yeah, he probably could have been one of. I mean, he is one of the greats. It's all speculation how great he could have been, but his advice of write everything down is the best advice anyone could give anyone. And if he did that, and he was I assume he was, his fucking girlfriend or wife or whatever keeps trying to sell his shit. Like, he's got recordings and, like, new, like, notebooks and stuff, and it's just, like, everything. There's content.
Dogs are in permanent push-up position. Love that one.
It's the way he says it, too.
Yeah. That fucking guy who keeps coming to the mics, who does the Hedberg impressions, does not even do a Hedberg impression.
I don't even know who you're
Red
talking
Man
about.
Alaska or some shit.
Something like
One of the crazy dudes?
Yeah, the long hair. He was getting angry because he bombed, and he was saying that
Oh, I love talking to those people. I want to make them feel worse about themselves. That's why.
Yeah, he's something else. He'll fall off eventually.
They always do.
They always do.
It's too much work. This is hard.
That's something that I'm glad is finally clicked for me. Every time someone new would come up, in my head I was like, "Fuck, we're gonna have to deal with them forever."
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, give it a couple months.
I'm gonna start posting the memories that pop up on Snapchat or Instagram because I'll look and I was like, "Oh, I forgot you even did that with us. That's crazy."
Speaking of that, Jonathan, who were people that fell off that you were around in the very beginning?
Oh yeah, let's speculate about this for a couple minutes and we'll wrap it up because as we've been going long, this is gonna die.
Okay. Howie, those I don't want to. You know what? I'm gonna say their names. Hopefully, they keep coming. Then the Jonathans.
The Jonathans.
Those two dudes.
Oh yeah. Oh
Jonathan
yeah.
White and Jonathan something.
Oh,
John something.
Fuck yeah. Those guys were really nice. Yeah.
John Clubb. I want him to come back.
Oh yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh man, that made me sad.
I've been meaning to text him like, "Are you all right, dude? Is everything okay?"
Fuck, I forgot about John Clubb.
Who else?
John, stop bringing your girlfriend around, dude. You got to do it on your own.
Yeah. That one chick, Rachel, I think her name was.
Rachel. I immediately went to Rachel Dolezal, but that's obviously not the same person. Rachel D.
I don't.
I know there's a
remember.
girl named Rachel D.
I just remember her first name.
We had a Rachel.
At some point.
I don't remember a Rachel. I don't remember that at all. But who else? Who the fuck else?
Well, who? All right, if you were to name your class right now, like not obviously not everyone, but like who you interact with, who you would consider in your class, who's that group, and then we'll go from there. Because
Patino, Roth, Jay Calderon.
So in terms of experience, who's been doing it the longest?
Between all of us?
Yeah.
Probably me.
Oh yeah, huh?
Because I think I'm one of the only ones who just been doing it every single day and staying consistent.
Yeah. You had 2 mics yesterday?
I tried because we went to the haha first, and then because I already paid for Bert's, and it was time's gonna run out if I stayed at haha because there was a lot of people there for no reason, and it's a lottery. Shit, hold on.
Carlos, Steven. So you said you wouldn't consider Frankie?
Joel.
Joel.
Oh yeah, Joel Powers. Yeah.
I guess Nick.
I'm curious what happens to Joel when his brain finds a new obsession and if he'll sustain with comedy.
Do you think his brain will find a new obsession?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I hope not.
Because it's this. I've been doing this long enough to know that everyone's going to hit the same kind of rhythm. There's going to be a lull where you have to find something else for a little while, and then you get reinvigorated. And I think he'll get the lull and then find something else to get obsessed about. And comedy is always going to be something he can go back to. I hope not, though, because I think he's got great stage presence, and he seems to genuinely enjoy it. So,
does Alec count?
Damani?
No.
No,
one?
he's
been doing it for a while. I've been roasting him since he was a baby. It's weird to think.
Sosa.
Gabe?
Yeah, Gabriel Sosa.
Oh, yeah, he's popping in and out again now. See, your light flickers once in a while, and then sometimes it just stays off.
Who else? Those are the only dudes I could think of who. Adrian Utley.
She disappeared for a little bit, then came back.
No,
she was on vacation.
It's vacation, and she's far, so she'll hit like Marquee over Riverside because she lives out in like they both live in like Fontana area. I think I want to say. Let's see, what is this? There's a group picture here with Matt Cole, Kenan Kaya, Dariush Sabani, Tony Ross. Looks like Alec Damani.
Kenan Kaya and Dariush, they still do it up.
They're still doing it. Kenan's running a show. I don't know what Dariush is doing right now. I feel like I saw him for a second at McFadden's, but then I went to go smoke with Danny Frank. So
you're gonna say, John?
Someone who fell off Caged Bird.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say he fell off because Randon Lavender. He hasn't been coming around anymore.
Oh yeah, he's probably. I assume when people fall off, they're just going to other mics.
Yeah.
Maybe it's possible.
I don't know. I'm pretty plugged into the general comedy, Southern California comedy world, and it's like I know where people are generally because we can't stop posting about ourselves.
Michael Thompson came back for a night.
For a night, yeah.
Cupcakes.
He's been coming around.
Yeah,
a lot.
that's good.
Because he's been getting his life together.
That's good.
He had a good set. He
Yeah, he's funny. He's always been funny.
Who's in your class, Aaron Chase?
You, me, Will, Damani, Gil was around at that time, right?
I don't know. Gil was with Will and everyone.
Frank Martinez was around at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, who else?
I have our stories that go back to December 2017.
I guess Juan. Fuck, man, I don't know. What happened?
Here we go. Here's a list of people. So this looks like a hideaway list. So Daniel Juarez.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, can you show him, Daniel?
Aaron Weinmiller.
Who's Banks?
Aaron Banks. Yeah, that's a good one. Aaron Weinmiller. He and
I know that name.
Esmeralda were a thing for a little while.
Can you show me the picture?
He looks like Jared Leto.
Oh yeah, what happened to him?
I don't know. Gerardo Alarcon, Frankie Oy, Jay Feverman, Steven Espinosa, Alec Milbourne, Danny Frank, Brian Corbett, Will Holland, Trevor Anderson, Frank Martinez, Joe Beltran, Daniel Zambrano, August Sorensen, Juan Cias, Alec Damani, Alfred Munoz, Tony Ross, Darius Sabani, Paul Maserlian, Gil Fierro. This is February 2018.
That's a long list of names. That all in one picture?
Yeah, that's, I assume, the Hideaway.
Wow.
Let's see. There's Jarrell. You guys remember Jarrell?
Yeah.
Jarrell Benasfree.
He was the guy who's on a lot of acid.
Yeah.
Jacob Trimmer. Lottie B. Do you remember when Lottie B and Sizzle C were coming around?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember Jacob.
Are those rappers?
Rhythm and Flow Season 2.
I can't wait. That's going to be good.
Shit. It's another thing. Whoops. People have
Sweetie.
been telling me to watch.
Titus Jones.
Oh, yeah. Wait, who's Speedy?
Sweetie.
Who's
She
that?
signed up as Sweetie. I don't remember, but I remember going, Sweetie? Oh, fuck you.
I remember Titus.
Yeah.
Where's he been?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
His spot got shut down. I mean, it's Mexicali again now, so maybe he can do a show there. Yeah, this is weird. There's a lot of people that are still doing it, and then a lot of people that you're like, oh, you come back once in a while.
Huh.
I hope to not be that person.
I don't think you will be.
I hope to just continue and keep it going.
Comedy?
Keep it going.
You can only hope.
Who runs? I don't even feel like there's been.
So many production groups now. It's great.
Yeah,
It's cool.
that is exactly what I asked for. So yeah, it's happening.
What are you gonna say?
Lara Bites is on that one. On the
Federation.
Yeah, with the Comedy Federation. Yeah, that's gonna be a cool show.
Yeah, like
She's so funny.
she's
And
a paid regular now.
I assume she's working on fire shit now that she's got 10 minutes a night, regardless. Like, that's so cool.
Fuck.
So
There's a spot in LA that does 10 minute spots all the time. I forget what it's called. It's on the Bureau.
I mean, is it a Wednesday? Because I'm looking for a Wednesday spot to hit. Otherwise, I'm going to Santa Ana. It's challenging enough where it's like, okay, I can learn something out here.
I'm not sure.
Plus all the OC comics there in Santa Ana. You guys should do McFadden's. Hit up Paul Antonio.
Okay.
On Wednesday?
It's cool. It's on Wednesdays, yeah. If I can get my car fixed, I'll drive. But I think I need a new spark plug. I hope.
Do you have any other shows coming up, Mr. Jonathan Tynes?
The only one is gonna be the Undergrind, November 21st. I don't know who else is on.
Oh, nice.
Oh wait, that's Juan and Tito now.
Is Tito on the Underground?
We're talking about
That's Juan Cias' show, the Comedy Underground.
Yeah, the Underground.
So yeah, that's going to be Juan and Tito's show. It's a Keep It Going show. So
Yeah. Oh.
right? Keep It Going. I don't know. There's so many. It's like I think it's them. We'll see. I don't have anything coming up. Not that I know of, at least.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we can use this to announce that we're at the Improv.
Yeah, on March 3rd.
Again?
March 3rd?
Yeah.
March
shit.
3rd or March 2nd?
It's March 3rd.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday.
Carlos, you didn't get that on yours.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've told people. I haven't like announced it
announced it.
anywhere. Yeah.
We need to book it.
You don't have.
Well,
any
we're
comics
working on
yet?
booking it right now. That's kind of why we didn't announce. Like, why would you announce a show that doesn't have a lineup yet?
Yeah,
you know.
that's
But
true.
we do have it. We are going to book for it because we're going to be at the Improv twice. So,
Oh, you get.
We got
Never mind.
another-
I'll ask you off.
Okay.
yeah. So we'll be at the Improv March 2nd, 3rd.
Third.
I should know it if I'm going to announce it. I'm at March 3rd. We don't have a whole lot going on.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm okay totally taking the holidays like slower because
I wanted to end the year off in a maybe October. I was like, I want to end the year off in like a cool handful of shows. But now I'm like, I don't feel like I want to coast for a little bit.
yeah, it's fine. Taking these days off, taking naps, and I was saying in the beginning, I'm really focused on my sleep. Like, it's no joke the extra hour between 5 and 6 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
A significant difference in my day. Like I thought I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just tired all the time. But I was tired at 5. I'm now getting 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep. And I woke up this morning at like 6 o'clock and I felt great. Sleep is so important.
Sleep is important.
I got to work on turning off the TV while I sleep. It's not good for you.
Sometimes I'm good with that. Sometimes I just like not turning on the TV and just sitting there, like eat and just sit there.
What a fucking weirdo. You live with this kid?
I did.
Good
Yeah.
thing you broke that pipe and shut your apartment down
Yep.
because now he had to leave.
Yeah, they asked.
Now Aaron watches the news alone.
Speaking of which, they sent me a survey. They wanted to know how we felt about our stay there.
Dude, you should piss on that survey and send it back.
Furious.
Yeah.
Just wipe your ass with it. This is how I felt about it. Make sure you eat corn first.
Oh,
though.
Nolly went by the apartment and they figured it out that we left.
Well,
All
how
the
did you know
all the
that?
shit's gone.
Good. Fuckers. Fuck that place.
Yeah.
That place where my clicker could open your gate. Dumb. That's some security there. Though now, every time I see a gate, I use my clicker. I found one other one, and it's in a rich neighborhood. I was like, oh, y'all fucked up.
Tight.
Nice. Alrighty.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. You know where to find us. We're the Buddy System Co. on Instagram. Jonathan, what's your Instagram?
Jonathan_Tynes.
Jonathan Tynes. Aaron Chase is at Aaron Chase 91. I am at the George S. The George F. Follow us. Keep us noted. And follow our Patreon. We need money. Or just give us money. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.